Just in general. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Y'all know what it is. It's me, your boy Trey. Got my man Bishop. We in the building. First formation this morning sports talk. So come on, fall in. Bishop, what's good with you this morning, bro?
WGO, what's going on? How y'all doing on this Tuesday morning, man? Everybody survived Monday, it looks like. So it's good to see everybody, man. For those that's on here tuning in to us, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. It's a lot going on. As you can see, I'm wearing purple again. Again, it is Lupus Awareness Month. So, of course, I'm wearing my purple for that reason. Again, once again, yesterday was Pop Day, but I'm still wearing purple today, too. So, mad love for all my Lupus warriors out there. How was your Monday, Trey?
It was all right, man. I had to switch the softball joints from my usual third Tuesdays to Thursdays to Mondays and Tuesdays. So now we're looking at they're down to this is the last week for the regular season. Then of course next week, all week long, it'll be a playoff to determine the intramural sports champion for softball for this year. So anything any day in sports is a good day for me. So I it was enjoyable.
Okay, I ain't mad at that.
Have you? When was the last time you played softball, Bishop?
Ooh, ugh.
Why it sound like you
What
over
year is
there
this?
cleaning pistols or something like that?
Who, me? No, I'm popping my monster, man.
Yeah.
Gotta
Oh,
get my monster on,
okay.
my monster.
All I heard was click clack.
Yeah.
it sound like that sound when you clean the M16 and you try to make sure it's
Mm-hmm.
clean without that grit. You pulling the charger handle like clack clack clack
Yeah.
clack. Like okay, let me make sure I'm good. That's it.
No. No, I'm over here.
I ain't had a
I'm over
trigger. I ain't had a trigger in a while. That was like, wait, whoa, where you go? Wait,
here. Yeah, yeah, what year is this? 2022? Bro,
yes.
I can't remember the last time I played softball, bro. I ain't played softball in years. Matter of fact, I was supposed to, if I'm not mistaken, I know I'm not mistaken because I had bought me a softball glove, and
What's
I think
good,
I was
Key?
supposed to play
Good
either
morning,
with
baby.
someone or play something. What up, Freddie? What's good? What's good? Good morning. Good morning. I bought a brand new softball glove. Never wore it. I forget what happened on why we didn't play. What up, Key? How you doing? Um, and and so I never got to play. But I got a brand new softball glove that I had, and this probably I don't know when that was. That was probably a few years ago. So but the last time I can't even tell you
You know what's
to be
funny?
honest, man.
That's what's funny is I ha- what's funny. I have a softball glove too that I haven't used or anything like that. But I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to change that. Like
You
I
about to
told you
get out
before,
there?
I
You
got a
about to
couple of
go
big.
get your? You about to live
No,
your
no,
Sammy
no,
Sosa?
no,
You about to live
no,
your
no, no.
Sammy Sosa?
No. But yeah, but not. Don't worry, you because don't worry. I got I always got
No,
something
don't you
up
do
my
it, Trey. No, don't
you
you do it. Don't you do it.
I
Don't
always
you
got something
do.
up my sleeve, man.
I'm
And
not.
I'm
I'm not
always
Tom Brady.
if y'all if y'all
I'm not Drew Brees. I'm not LeBron
hey,
James.
just
I'm
bunt. All you gotta do is bunt. You
just
know,
bunt.
and
If you
stuff like
bunt, you
that.
gotta run faster, Trey. When you bunt, you gotta run faster.
all
No,
you gotta do,
no,
all you gotta
no,
do is it's a sweet spot on the infield. All you gotta do is find it. It get you there.
no,
Don't worry, it's
no.
coming. And I
There's
guarantee it.
no.
Like if
There's
y'all
people
don't
out there
know,
that can throw balls fast and faster than I can
if
run,
y'all don't know,
especially faster than I can run right now. Because I'm not
if
that
y'all don't.
runner that I used to
If
be.
y'all don't know, my biggest thing, I'm all about engagement. Like when anytime I come up with something in which I have to kind of tailor back sometimes because the way some people bodies is set up nowadays, they don't be trying to do things. But I'm I'm all about engagement.
And the
So
way the
whenever I
people's
come up,
bodies are set up.
yeah. so so I'm all about engagement.
Oh
So I try
shit.
to find different things in which to sit up and do, especially when it
Oh.
comes time to like certain things in which you do, whether it's fraternity or organization stuff. I'm always about the engagement. So I'm trying to find certain things, but I got some stuff in which I've been my wheels been turning, so I got some stuff
Mm.
that's definitely
Well,
coming up. It's just
well,
a
take
matter
me
of
out that wheel turner. Take me out the wheel turner. Don't put me in that equation. Remove me from that wheel turner. Because I'm telling you right now, the way
so
my knee, bruh, I'm going to tell you, yesterday, I went to do the bowling thing, right?
uh huh. Oh
I
goodness.
tweaked my back at the gym yesterday, man. I tweaked my back. This is no lie. I can't make this shit up, bro. I tweaked my back at the gym, right? So I knew I was like, damn it, I knew I should have went bowling earlier in the fucking week when I had the chance and I didn't. So I went, I said I gotta go today, which was yesterday, because I gotta get it out the way. So I'm up there throwing. One game, I'm thinking first game I bowled a 121, which was my worst
Yeah,
game,
I was about to say
which is expected.
you finished with like a 154 average. So
But yeah, I finished strong. But you know, the first game. But when I say when I was as I was bowling each game, I was like at the first game, middle of the game, I was like, damn, I still got two more. I got two more games to do. That second game, I was like, oh shit. I was like, that second game, I was like, oh shit. I don't know if I can make a third game, man. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. Either way, I finished it right, bro. When I say I went to the car, went to the car, opened the door, and I went to go sit down in my
hey, yeah,
car. And
see, you
mind
got a
you,
car, so you got to sit down in it.
yeah, I gotta sit down. Mind you, I was just about to say, mind you, I got a Mustang, right? I got a 2016 Mustang convertible. Mind you, so I gotta sit down in my car. When I say, when I went to sit down in my car and I felt a pain in my knee that I never felt before, I don't even know. How do you sprain your knee getting in the car, bro? Like I'm just telling you, bro. I ain't never felt a pain like that before. I was like, oh my god, what is this? That's age, bro. That's age. That's all it is,
You
man.
know what?
I didn't do nothing. I wasn't running. I wasn't sprinting. I wasn't jogging. I just walked to my car and was going to sit down to leave the bowling alley. And my knee was in
You know what? That's what's funny,
excruciating
bro.
pain.
You know what's funny? You know certain movements is going to do certain things when you come to that. So
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, they always it'd be driving me nuts. But so I keep the balcony door to my office open because it sits. Of course, I have a tower that sits in the middle of the fields. So for the most part, I can see a 360 of all the fields. But the balcony
Mm-hmm.
door sits directly facing one of the fields, which is I consider it the main field because that's the one I can see out of the. I can
Mm-hmm.
have a complete vision of.
Mm-hmm.
So what tends to happen is they call my name when they need balls. What's good, Frank? What's good, Lieutenant Stanton? So
What's up, Taylor May?
so what they do, they tend to call my name and be like, "Hey, we need some balls," because I only give them a certain amount of balls because I feel like y'all hit home runs, y'all gotta go find those balls.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but of course, last night it was dark when that particular game came up with all the power hitters, and so they was hitting them into the tree line, and they were
Okay.
scared to go in the tree line to go find them because they you know what was going to go in there. Now, yeah, that look when you got like all y'all defend the country,
Right, but y'all
but
scared to go in the
but just
tree
go
line and
scared to
let
go to
something in
the
the
tree
tree
line
line and
to
they
get,
don't know
and,
about.
to add any further insult to injury. I'm talking about MPs at this point. Like it's MPs that don't want to go. It's like
Really?
y'all the first line of defense for
Right.
this installation, and y'all want to go get. But anyway, so they called me and like Trey, you know, what I'm saying I need the balls. We need some balls, and I'm thinking to myself, y'all got to go get them damn balls, man. I was like, hell, I was like, we gonna be playing with busted the balls for the tournament because I only got a couple of cases of balls left for the rest of
Right.
the season because we haven't ordered none yet. So
Right.
I'm getting ready. I'm unraveling the ball to throw it out, and so the way the thing is set up is is only about maybe 5 feet, maybe less than that, 4 feet between the top of the bar and the roof that protrudes out a little bit that overlaps. So I have to basically I have to throw the ball over the fence line that is about maybe 12 feet from the tower, not to mention the fence is about maybe 10 feet or more higher. So basically, it's like a whole bevy of obstacles in which I have to hit to make sure the
Mm-hmm.
ball gets over the fence and gets far enough to get to drop into the infield. So
Okay.
I know this I know the action in which I'm about to perform is an action that's going to cause problems because basically I'm throwing the ball from a point in which I have to turn my back and everything is back motion. There's nothing else in it because I
Right.
can't. Man, as soon as the first time I threw the ball, I was like, oh, and it hit me. I was like, oh, so I threw it and it got to where I want. So here they come 5 minutes later. Trey, I was like, yo, they don't need another ball, man. I'm thinking at this point my back is hurting because I'm like,
Right.
so I gotta make the throw again. But in my mind, the mental conversations that go on with you. In my
Right.
mind, I'm thinking I want to get a better throw than I had the last time. So that's what I'm
Right.
thinking in my mind. But I
Right.
know getting that well, my back is hurting.
Right.
Well, not necessarily the back, like the side. It's
Right.
hurting. I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I want to get a better throw. I want to get it to the pitcher's mound at this point. So you got to think the pitcher's mound is technically 60 feet from the home plate, and the home plate is about 20 feet from me. So I'm looking at throwing an basically an 80-foot ball
Right.
onto a field from with a minor ailment at this point, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
still thinking I'm up for the task. So I go
Mm-hmm.
to do it again. Of course, this time the ball does get further, but the ball goes like remember when 50 Cent threw
That
that
that first pitch out.
the first
Yep.
when he came out to one of the games one time, the New York,
Yeah.
and he threw
So that
that
first
first
pitch
pitch
out.
and he
Mm-hmm.
wound up, and when he wound up, the ball went over
Left.
there. That's exactly what
Yeah.
happened. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. I threw the ball to third base.
Oh shoot!
Oh,
Trying to get somebody out.
yeah, Charlie. Yeah, I ain't even playing. Y'all ain't even playing. I
Yeah.
ain't even that guy. No, they don't get. And so it was crazy. It's interesting. Yeah,
It's
you
crazy.
gotta do that stretch. I don't know if y'all that run service members out there that ran PT, you gotta do that little stretch because you feel that feel in your back and you do that stretch like okay, all right. When you done ran for a while, you start to get that little twinge in your back from
Mm-hmm.
running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah. Yeah. So
So
keep me off
nah,
whatever
nah.
your idea is. Make sure you remove me from that list. Yeah,
But
you
Staten,
you don't realize how hard it was as bowling 3 games yesterday.
you know what? You just gotta let the adrenaline take over, and you gotta just
It
let it
did it.
flow,
It
just
did
let it
that
go.
part. It was so much adrenaline. I'm up in there sweating. You just swore I worked out. I'm sweating and everything. I was like, "Are you supposed to sweat while you bowl?" I was like, "I ain't never seen that before. It's an indoor game. Why am I sweating like that?"
No, the AC going.
Yeah, but I mean the AC blazing. It's because the one I went to is a I don't know if y'all got Santico's theaters in Louisiana.
We do not have no deal. Oh, you said Louisiana. I thought you said about to say
Yeah.
Fort Polk for leave. No, we
No.
don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Santico's here in San Antonio. They got it's a bowling alley / movie theater.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I just went, and it's one right up the road from me, like 10 minutes away. So that's where I went. So in movie theaters, they had the AC blazing
Hmm.
in the movie theater. So yeah, yeah, it was cool in there, and I'm up there sweating like I had just worked out. I'm like, what in the world is this? I said, see, this is too much. This is too much. I'm glad. And I was thinking about bowling. Especially after I did that first game, I was like, I was getting better. My score was getting better. I was thinking about bowling 3 more, but I was like, nope, not gonna be able to do it.
You good?
I'm
Not
good.
on duty. Not on
Not
duty.
on duty. Nope, gotta go. Ooh, excuse me.
That's crazy. So, of course, unfortunately, I can't take part in that because we don't have a bowling alley in or
Yeah,
around
you
this
you
area.
told me.
But
You
yeah,
told
it'll
us.
be back. It'll be back at the end of the month. It's due to open. Actually, it's due to open at
Oh, y'all
yeah,
have one but y'all saying
yeah.
it's getting remodeled, right?
It was getting remodeled. Yeah, like in
Yeah,
2 years
yeah,
ago. Matter of fact, my birthday 2 years ago is when it burnt down. It was a fire in the
yeah.
kitchen
Oh, it burned down.
overnight. Yeah, overnight it was a
Oh,
fire in the kitchen. And well, they can burn down, but the kitchen burnt up. So they just took it as an opportunity to like we need to
to
just
remodel the
redo it.
whole thing. The
Yeah,
insurance
so
gonna
they
take care of it.
it's
Yeah.
two parts. It's like a bar that's attached to it, and then the actual bowling alley. So
Is it a big
um,
bowl now? It's on post.
yeah, it's on post.
Oh, okay.
So they like technically we have a bowling alley off post, but it's like atrocious. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it's real bad. Like the
Ghetto,
lanes are warped
ghetto,
and stuff
ghetto.
like that.
Yeah, the wood probably coming up.
Yeah,
You
stuff
probably
like
got you
that.
probably got to put up your own pins.
Actually, no, you don't have to put up your opinions, but you got to take your own
Gotta go.
score.
Oh, by paper.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's like
Ooh
bad. It's like
boy,
real bad.
y'all prehistoric years.
Yeah, and it's not and it's but the thing is, it's not you got to take your own score because they don't have the score. They just don't work.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's
Oh wow.
it's not the best, but
They should condemn that one and restart over with that one.
So
Find those
yeah, so
fire
that
starters. Find those fire starters that started the one on post and have them start them on the network.
so yeah,
Wow.
so they so yeah, so but the Fort Polk one is it's called Warrior Lanes. It's due to
Okay.
open on the 26th of May. So
Do
they're
you
about
know
ready to
now?
go. Say
I don't know
again.
when the last time you've been bowling, and it might have been when we was at our last.
I didn't even bowl that day.
I'm saying, but the last time you, so you know, I didn't even notice. I know probably the last time I had been bowling was probably our last Founders Day, not the one we just passed,
The
but
the
the one
second
prior
one.
to.
hmm
Right, the first one, our very first one. I didn't know they got apps now where you can like, I guess the app you can,
Talk to it.
yeah, the app you can put all your scores and all of that stuff. I'm sure my LB knew about it and all, your
Yeah,
outline and
he
stuff.
talked about it. He talked about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I didn't know they had apps though, but okay. Yeah, you can apps now and follow you, pick up
I
your
think it's what
score and all that.
Lane Talk is it or something like that.
No, mine is called something different. And mine might be the one that I deleted it because I only had it. I just downloaded it for that day. Um, but I think this one was like specifically for this bowling alley, like for the
Oh,
Tigos.
so you're tell me you're not that person that deletes apps that downloads the app just specifically for what you need and then delete it after the fact.
That I am that dude. I am that dude.
That
That's
sounds
me.
like an Android thing because
Yeah, that's me. I'm that dude.
y'all can
I'm that
Androids
dude.
don't have enough
What?
memory to hold
No, that's
amount of
not. That's
apps.
definitely not it. That's definitely
Sounds
not
like an Android
the
situation.
part of the memory. The fact of the matter is that if I don't use it, why do I need it on my phone anymore?
It's
If
better
I'm
to
not using
need
it
it.
on a regular
It's
basis,
better to
what's the
have it
point?
and not need it and not have it.
Why when I can re-download it just that quick, especially if it don't cost nothing. It's free. Why am I using up space for what?
Oh,
Really?
oh, you throw it barbs. I see. It's free. It's a reason you do. It's free. It's free to me too when I download it.
I
As
mean,
long as
I'm
I don't
just
have
saying.
as long as I don't have all apps are in free for the most part. As long as it
You know what I'm saying? So you keep all your airline apps.
every single last one of them,
No,
and
so you
I
so
go
that
through.
means so you
I
that means you
I
got
go.
so that means he got Spirit on his phone.
I
He
do.
got Southwest. He got
Yes, I do. Well,
American.
I keep those because I'm a travel agent, so I keep those specifically for saying work for work related stuff. But besides that, but yes, I do have Spirit.
Tell him again, Taylor May. Let him know. Let him know. Let him know, Taylor May. He don't know. 1 terabyte, baby. Tell him what we do, baby. That's thousands and thousands and thousands of apps. Tell him, Trey. I
Let's not
mean,
act like let's
Taylor
like
May.
exactly tell the Trey. I'll finish tell you. Let's
No,
not
tell him
act like
like
all.
Taylor May.
Let's not act like that's all the terabyte is free. Like y'all probably got all stuff that's in the background. It says 1 terabyte, but like three of the gigabytes is you. 15 gigabytes is used for stuff that's already on there. That's like
That's fine. That's still
you
a
see
lot.
how y'all see how the people try to
I
do.
bet you Apple. I bet you Apple don't have 1 terabyte of nothing. They
We
got
do
a
not.
terabyte of the apple. That's all they need. Terabyte out that apple. That's what they got. 1 terabyte out that apple. That's what they got. They ain't got nothing else.
So of course,
Terabyte out that apple.
getting into the sports, y'all, because this guy. So Bishop, of course, and what we almost omitted, we almost lost out. The NBA draft lottery will be held
Tonight,
tonight. Now, yes, now of course it's not the actual draft. The
it's
actual
the
draft will be
lottery.
later
Don't
on
get it
in
mixed
June.
up. There's a
Yes,
difference.
it's just the lottery where we're going to basically know who
Who
chooses
picks when?
who picks when and when it comes down to it. So of course, unfortunately, the Lakers' misfortune is the fortune to the Pelicans, as the Lakers, of course, we know gave up their first round draft pick for the 2023 season back in correction, for the 2022 season uh when they traded for Anthony Davis, in which they traded Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, uh and Lonzo Ball to the Pelicans, and the first round with the lottery round protected to the Pelicans. Now that pick is currently about to be awarded, as it's going to be awarded even to the Pelicans, or it's going to be awarded to the Memphis Grizzlies via the Pelicans, one or two ways. So that's basically what we're looking at. LA's misfortune again, and not to mention that it would have been different had LA got into the playoffs to where they but they didn't get to playoffs partly due to the fact of Brandon Ingram uh, and CJ McCollum wheeled the Pelicans into the playoffs, which pushed the Lakers down into the lottery. And now they have an opportunity for that pick to be a top 10 pick, which enables the Pelicans to have a top 10 pick, even though they were in the playoffs. So you have that misfortune in which we're facing. But some of the orange stage representatives, if you haven't watched the lottery before, they usually have people come to represent for them, in which they're there kind of like good luck charms, so that way they're hopefully with the idea of maybe their team getting the number one draft pick. So of course, some of the on stage representatives that will be there tonight for the Charlotte Hornets, PJ Washington, of course, one of their players. Washington Wizards will have Wes Unseld Jr., the head coach. Cleveland Cavaliers, stop it, Anthony. Um, Cleveland Cavaliers, Anderson Varejao, who is one of their team ambassadors. The San Antonio Spurs, the very own David Robinson. Uh, the Detroit Pistons will have Richard Hamilton, who was there last year when they got the number one pick for being Cade Cunningham. The the Sacramento Kings will have Demonis Sabonis. The Houston Rockets will have Raphael Stone, the general manager. Portland Trailblazers will have Dame Lillard. Of course, we got some for Dame Lillard come later on in the show. Goodness gracious. We finna light it up. Indiana Pacers will have Kelly Krasosov, who was also their assistant general manager. The Orlando Magic will have Jeff Weltman, president of basketball operations. The New Orleans Pelicans will have Swin Cash Kano, vice president of basketball operations. The Oklahoma City Thunder have their Thunder legend Nick Collison, and lastly, the New York Knicks will have William Wesley, who is the executive vice president for senior basketball advisory in the building. So they'll be there front and center as they get ready to see who can wield or hopefully be there to quote unquote good luck charm um for their team. Bishop, you ever had a good luck charm? You ever had anything in which you figured like this?
Mm-mm.
I need
Not
this.
since I was not since I was a kid. No.
No jerseys or anything like that, like you wore all the
Mm-mm.
time. Certain way
No.
with your
No.
socks,
What you talking about now? That's the difference. You mean a good luck charm, or you talking about like a
like something that you
pregame
thought.
ritual?
Or well, oh, so you
So
had a
there's
pregame
difference.
ritual.
Yeah, like pregame. Yeah, I had pregame rituals. Yeah, before every football game, I would watch a football movie. Like any like if I was new, I had a
Okay,
game coming up. Or I had a game like tomorrow, tonight, the night before, I was gonna watch a football movie. Whether it was any given Sunday, remember the Titans, whatever. I'm watching some type of football movie. No matter what, no matter if I've seen it before or not.
good morning, Anthony. Good morning, brother. Even though you coming with the BS
What about
already.
you?
Um, did I have so I
Now, as far as clothes, I didn't have no pre. You know, a lot of players have pregame
yeah
clothes,
that they put
or
on
yeah,
or
they
some
put
they
on
wear
one side. Yeah, like Jordan put on his North Carolina shorts underneath his underneath his
uniform.
NBA uniform. And,
Hmm.
yeah, some people did have those type of rituals. Me, the only ritual I had like that was when I got older. I had to have ace bandages on both my
Okay, okay. I don't think I had anything particular. I think it was more so like during or in season, in which I might have did something like if we was on a hot streak or something like that, I might be like, you know what, I'm just gonna let me wear this, whether it was a headband or something like that,
legs.
or of course once we have a bad game, then the headband comes off. So
Mm,
it just depended for the most part. Um, but of course, additionally, I asked that because the course is a weighted system, and being as the top four teams get selected, and then after the top four teams get selected for the lottery, then after that it's inverse order, in which they go from there depending upon the record for the last 5 through 14, and of course 16 through 20, 16 through 30 is selected by how they finish the regular season. or how they finish in the playoffs. So of course, for the Rockets, the Magic, and the Pistons, they are 14. They have a 14% chance, 14% weighted. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 12.5%. The Indiana Pacers are
to get the first pick, right? We talking right
yeah, to get the
to win
first
the
pick.
lotto for the first pick,
Yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah. The odds, their odds. They have
right.
four. The Portland Trailblazers at the 9% odd. The Sacramento Kings 7.5%. The New Orleans Pelicans via the Los Angeles Lakers are 6%. The San Antonio Spurs are 4.5%, while the Washington Wizards 3%. Knicks 2%. Oklahoma City Thunder 1.5%. 1% for the Charlotte Hornets, and then lastly, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 0.5% of getting the
Half
number
percent.
one.
And who's
Yeah,
and who had the biggest percentage?
the Pistons, Magic, and Rockets.
Pistons, Magic, Magic. Pistons,
So,
Magic, and Rockets.
so I
So
asked this
those
Bishop.
three. So those Pistons, Magic, Rockets. I'm just sitting
I,
here trying to think. Pistons,
I was about to
Magic,
ask you. So,
Rockets.
out of those, do you think they keep that order? Do you think someone jumps in and snatch the top three? Someone else
So
jumps into the top three.
so I'm gonna tell you right. I'm gonna tell you like this: Pistons, Magic, Rockets. If Rockets fool around and get that first pick, man, the Rockets gonna be something. Be something to deal with because we talked
More
about this
added
before.
added depth with their
Yes,
young core.
and that young core, that part, that part. Now, mind you, they are adding another youngster to that core.
Mm-hmm.
However, comma, that's a because that dude from Gonzaga, that
Chet
7 footer,
Holmgren. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that 7 footer from Gonzaga, that boy ain't no joke. And then the young kid out of
Panchero out of Duke, and then
Duke, then
yeah,
the other one out of they just spoke of him out of
out of Kansas.
is it Kansas? Was it Kansas?
Oh,
It might have been
Jabari out of Auburn.
Auburn. Him. That dude. Him.
Hmm.
Yeah, bro. Houston gonna have some young guns, and if they are
So you
able
think? So you think? You
to
think? You
mature,
think? You think Cleveland? I mean, you think Houston gets the first pick? You think
I'm not saying they get it, but if they do, they
they
gonna be
basically got
something to
it? They
beat
got
with.
it. They be as long as they're in the
Well,
top
so
three,
I
they have an
forget.
opportunity.
Right. So okay. So they do the picks all the way up to number one, right? So you know who they
So
all are.
So what they're going to do is they're going to choose. They're going to go forth and they're going to go through their process and how they choose the top four picks. The top
Mm-hmm.
four picks is the only ones that get are actually the ones that they're picking. So they go through a
That they
process of
show
what's
that
that?
they're
Yeah.
actually letting everybody
Well,
know who.
those
Yeah.
are the only thing. Those are the only ones they're actually picking. So the top
Right.
four picks is picked, but they put all the team balls in there, but they're weighted a certain way, so that way they reach the 14 percentile. So the um of course the ball the those three teams that we mentioned are weighted further, so they stay closer to the vacuum. So they're weighted a little more. The other teams are a little more have a little more going on, so that way when the balls get mixed for 20 seconds, and then after the 26 mix, then a ball gets drawn. Bam, it gets drawn. Then they get it. If it's with the 14% chance, those balls are weighted for different, so they're closer to the vacuum. Then they go through and they do it again. 10-second mixture, and then boom, the vacuum. Then that's how. So they pulled out. So the last ball gets pulled, and it determines who is going to be. So they're going to do that for the top four teams. Once they get the top four teams that are decided, being going from 4, 3, 2, and 1. After that, the remaining teams that are left get pushed to number 5 through 16 and 5 through 15. So they're
Mm-hmm.
going to basically go like, okay, if let's say that, like you said, Houston doesn't get the top seed. If
Mm-hmm.
Houston doesn't get if Houston doesn't get 1 through 4, then they're going to be pushed down to the fifth seed, the fifth pick, and then it goes on from there in the inverse order. So if so presumably what we're thinking is with the higher, you would think, okay, these are higher weight, but you don't know because there's been a time before where the year that the Lakers got the number 2 pick, which ended up becoming Lonzo Ball, they weren't expected to be in the top 5, and they ended up becoming the number 2 pick. So it just depends for the most part in how they do it. But I something tells me, I don't know who yet, but I think one of those top three are not going to be the top three.
Mm.
I think
Out of
I,
Houston, out of
out of Houston,
Houston,
Detroit, and Orlando.
Orlando. Mm.
Yeah, I believe that someone else is going to get up in there. You know what? It'll be odd if the Pelicans get up in there. I think the
Ooh.
Pelicans. I think the Pelicans get a top three draft pick tonight.
Ooh.
I think the Pelicans get
That'll
a
be
top three
huge.
draft. Yes, it
Especially
would.
with,
That's like
with, with Zion coming back, and then they got they picked up what we
McCullum.
call this season McCullum, CJ.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Ooh.
I think the Pelicans getting top. I think Detroit gets drops out. Detroit has to end up picking fifth, and the Pelicans end up getting
In the top three.
a top three. Yeah, top three.
Mm. That would be huge. That'll be crucial.
So, ooh, what you think about this? Not to get too far
Yeah,
in the NFL.
yeah. I don't
Ooh.
know, cause to me, what are the advantages of what are the advantages and may I say disadvantages of a lottery draft lottery? What are the advantages and the disadvantages, Trey? Because you know more about that than me. So what are the advantages and the disadvantages
So
of a
what?
draft lottery?
So the draft lottery affords. So the draft lottery was supposed to be. I think the answer to tanking. That's what the draft lottery is supposed to
Us
be
the top
because
teams from
yeah,
tanking at the end
yeah.
of the season so they can get a good pick.
So
Gotcha.
top, yeah, yeah. So that's what I think. That's what it was. What it's supposed to be. So it's supposed to take away the fact of okay, like the NFL. What the NFL does now is the worst record gets
First pick.
first pick. So and then which was that was the same with the NBA at one point, but they decided to take it to remove that,
But wasn't the
and so that
football doing the same thing? Wasn't people feeling that football was tanking at one point?
yeah, they
Wasn't some
still
people
do.
thinking that they was taking so they could get that first round pick in the NFL
Yeah,
draft?
and they which they still do for the most part when it comes down to it.
Right,
So
right.
that's what it would take away. But in I think it would be, I don't know, would it be an advantage in the NFL or would it start to be a situation? Because at this point the ball, I mean, it becomes chance for the most part to a degree
Right. It's
to
like
where,
winning the lottery for real.
but
Like a
then you
lottery,
now.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's like, but can you imagine what that would look like now? Because we're already, in which the NBA is the forward thinker. Like I think the
Hmm.
NBA is like the Apple of the sports league, in which it goes
Hmm.
forth and it puts stuff, saying it does things,
I
and it
know.
does it a little
Oh,
bit
hold on.
different.
Not it's not the Apple. Just no. Okay. But go ahead. You're not
It's
gonna
too late.
slip that in there and think I. You're not gonna slip that in there and think I ain't gonna catch it.
I got it
Yeah.
in because you north and south. I see it, but
Yeah.
so it would be like that where say like the NBA does a forward thing, of course, with the in season tournaments. I mean, not in season tournament, with the season tournament and things of that nature. So it's a little forward and innovation where you only could try it and see where it works, and if it doesn't work, you go back to what you had before. So I don't think
It
it would
does
hurt.
seem as though the NBA is the forefront of trying to trying
Yeah,
new things and
sure.
other sports trying to adopt it because we know the NCAA kind of like trying to adopt the play-in lot the play-in tournament like the NBA
Yeah,
did.
with the
So yeah, I see where you're going with that. I can see where you're
yeah.
going at.
So
Now,
it goes.
in regards to Anthony, why? Let me ask you this, Anthony. Why does the NFL need that? In my opinion, and since you came with that question, let me ask you this: why do you think the NFL needs that, and if so, why?
I would think.
Outside the obvious.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say I think it's for the same reason in which like we just stated, but you say
Yeah,
outside the obvious. So good
outside the
question.
obvious. But go ahead, Trey.
I,
While Anthony answered that, go
yeah.
ahead.
So
What
I
you saying?
thought. Oh, there you go. Stop the taking.
Stop it. Okay, that's the obvious.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
do
think
you
it's
really believe? Do y'all really believe?
hell yeah.
And Trey, you kind of okay.
Without a
You tell us
question.
how you really feel, Trey.
Hell yeah. You know it, man. Come on, bro. Like
Tell us how
like
you really feel.
and you know what? It's got to be
So if that's the
hard.
case, though, Trey, but if that's the case, then is there really a such thing as conspiracy theory then? Because if you can't tank and have a conspiracy all at the same time,
So this is what I was about to say.
okay.
It's pretty hard. It's got to be hard to tank and do it. You know what? I have a favorite saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, to where one of my most favorite movies used to be The Usual Suspect, and
Okay.
so if you've watched The Usual Suspect with that's where the term Kaiser Sose comes from. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the things was Kaiser Sose was supposed to be a person who made the world believe that he didn't exist, and he although he did exist, and so in saying that, I think I look at like it's got to be hard to tank, but look like you're not tanking.
That part.
In which saying that takes on to all it almost looks in which in my opinion it brings for it becomes awkward where it's like, yo, are they tanking, like, or are they not tanking, like what are they doing, because you're trying to tank, but you're trying not to look like you're tanking, and it's like,
Right.
what are they doing, like why does that look so awkward? I think that's what you get a lot of.
And but answer my question, Anthony. We see your question. We're gonna come to that. But let me ask you this. But do you agree or disagree with me, Trey? Can you take as well as have a conspiracy at the same time?
Yes, because
How?
so I think the conspiracy theories become it's not. I think they. So I don't believe you can do it with for one, I don't believe there's conspiracy theories really going on. But for the sake of conversations, um, it can be things that look suspect.
Suspect.
Yeah, it
Very,
looks suspect.
very
So
suspect.
I don't
A
think
person ain't fumbled all season, but on this one play, this one
as
game,
as
it's
soon
his
as as
time to
soon as
fumble.
as soon as the commentator says it,
Commentator says it. Here comes the fumble. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Here comes the fumble. This person, oh, Derrick Henry hasn't fumbled the ball in 48 games. He has not dropped the ball once. He drops the ball. He fumbles. What? Did you just tell him in his ear to drop the ball or fumble that ball? Did you just tell him that? Because that is real awkward right about now that he happened to do that right after you said that.
So yeah, so so in that I don't. So I think it could be things in which when we come back down to the, like we said, the tanking aspect of it, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, or a case
Mm-hmm.
like that, the tanking aspect of it is sometimes those things have to happen to make it unfortunate. So of course we all know there's ways, because we've seen the point shaving, what I'm saying, where it could be the simplest of things and where that type of stuff happens. So I don't think the theories happen. I just think that some of the stuff happens to where people look at it like this is what we want to do, and so I think one of the things that if I were a GM or the owner and I needed this to happen, what I would do is, obviously we can't just outright do it to where we're the
It's
worst
obvious.
team. Yeah, that's
Right.
obvious. Like you have to have a target. Like you have to target. Like, hey, I want to be in the top five at least. Like Anthony has a like you have up about Anthony. Top five. We can't always be number one, but if we top five, saying we probably in good standing. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't always be number one. You can't always be the worst team. You can't, because it starts looking like, well, we're tanking. So you have to be it has to be those things where you may win a game here, you may lose a game here, you do this, you do that, and as the season starts to go on, and I think what we've been seeing of late is, as the season starts to go on, you kind of see where you will land, and you kind of look at the games in which you have. Of course, you sit up and put up a good fight as best you can, but if you like, it might be some games you got to think about it. The Detroit Lions, for the most part, was in every game they played last year. They only won 4 games, but they were in every game they played last year against some pretty good opponents. It's just they couldn't hold off. Is that by chance? Or saying, what exactly was it? So when
But
you look
then,
at,
but then, Trey, when you look at that, right? So if you
hmm
say you feel like you and Anthony feels like there's tanking going on in the NFL, right? And I know we're still on basketball, but we
hmm
just touched this on this basis real quick. But if that's the case, in teams, owners. So let me ask you this first before I continue to go. When it comes to the tanking part, who do you think is spearheading that? The owners, the coaches, like
I
who
think
do
it's
you feel is put
the G,
behind the tanking?
the
If like
GM,
who's
the
saying, hey,
GM,
look, this is what we the GM. That's who you think it is, the GM.
the GM. I think the GM. I think it's for the sake of our argument conversation, I think there's a point to where there's a meeting of the minds. Of course, the GM speaks on this. The owner is in probably involved, as well as if there's the president of basketball operations, along with some probably an advisor or two.
So with
I
that
think
being
that it's a
said,
conversation
okay,
to be
Smith,
had.
would you feel like the coach is in on or no?
No, I don't think the coaches is in on it. I think the coach gets to say unless it be. I think when at the point in which it becomes well, of
So
course
how can you
the
take?
coach
Yeah,
has
I was
the
about to
coach
say,
has
how
to
can you
be in
take
it.
without the coach?
Yeah,
Yeah, how
the
can you
coach
take
has to
without the
be on it.
coach?
I don't know if
Okay,
he. I don't know if I would have the coach in it initially because I
you
you
have
got
to
to
because he's
test the
calling the
waters.
plays.
In my
Yeah, but
opinion.
he's
So
calling
if
the
we,
plays.
yeah,
He's got to be.
you have
He's
to
got to
test the
be in on. He
waters.
got to
You have
know.
to test the waters to a degree. Yeah,
Okay, so
but you
my
got to test
question.
the waters because
I
that's
got
why
you.
Brian
I got you.
Flores
But
is in the
this is what
situation
brings
he's in
me.
now.
But this is what makes me ask this question, right? Is the fact of the matter is, if this is tanking is going on so much, or has a lot, or and not saying so much, but tanking, just say tanking is going on in the NFL, right? If that's the case, why some countries don't make it past a year, 2 years, 3 years? If we're taking, because if we take into consideration what Anthony is saying
Someone
right here, five
someone has
years,
to fall. Someone has to fall on
five
the
years.
sword.
Got you. I got it. But if we're doing this, if Jacksonville is taking for 5 years and you done went through two coaches, what are you taking for? You taking for I get it, you're taking for better draft picks, but you're changing up your coaching staff.
That might be a
Which are
form of it.
coming with which are coming in with different philosophies with each coach.
Let's look at it like this, right? So think about the
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia 76ers and the
Mm-hmm.
process.
Mm-hmm.
The
GM is
process
first, then
was
he's telling the coach, just like Giants coach did, the quarterback sneak on the 5 yard line first. Then he's telling the coach, oh, okay. Got you, Anthony. Got
so
you.
just
Go ahead.
let's look at the process from the Philadelphia 76ers. Basically what they did is they didn't presumably allegedly they tanked until
Okay.
to get into the lottery to where they had the opportunity to pick up certain players, in which
Mm-hmm.
they picked up in their process. They got Ben Simmons, they got Joel Embiid, and then they had a couple of put them in position to be a higher a higher stature where they were even if they didn't have a great pick in the first, it put them high to have a high second round pick, or in the
Mm-hmm.
case of that both of that. So through that process is where they basically have become where they are now, and now they're basically playing. Now they're basically they've been in the playoffs the last couple of years. They've been in even the second round or the conference championship or uh, a couple of years. So presumably the process has worked or it has garnered them things to where they have received stuff. So that's what the tanking looks like. So I'm not sure if Presti, when he went forth and did he tell the coach like, hey, this is what we need to do? Or he just basically didn't put the proper players around to build that. He put players on the court so it doesn't look, but it's like obviously, and then he started working his magic. So after the process, or I think it was some things in which he said or did which was caused him to get fired. But the process at the end is the end state is the process worked for the most part. It got them. It hasn't panned out like he probably expected it to, but he's not there to sit up and be on the to be to that line. But for the most part, it has got them the players in which they need to be successful. Now it's just it's just now adding to that situation. So I think that's where when you look at it, that's what goes on with all the tanking or or what's presumed to be taking, whether it's in the NFL, the NBA, or it's just a matter because it's against their policies to do that. But there's loopholes, and I think the GMs and coaches and general man. I mean the operation presidents or the executives as well as the owners sit down in the room and they have a conversation about this and be like, hey, uh, but like Anthony just said, unfortunately, Brian Flores was like he's not with it, and so of course when you have the other side, Hugh Jackson said this is what went on for us. So it just depends. As a coach, Bishop, are you with the taking culture or uh,
That's that's a good question, man. So for me, right, if I'm a coach, NFL coach, NBA coach, whatever coach, and I'm in the professional realm, um, I'm not coming into the season thinking I'm taking.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. However, comma, excuse me, midway through the season, and our record is not where it needs to be, and I feel as though, I feel as though that the upcoming draft class has some potential out there that we could possibly use on our team. Then I would think to not necessarily take because I still would me personally I'm very competitive. Very competitive type person. So me being
Hmm.
competitive, then I'm gonna do everything I can to try and get a win. However, um, so with that being said, so I guess I'm not into taking it to be honest. No, because I'm trying to win whatever game I can. Because I don't like losing. So no, I guess we would have
Hmm.
to answer that question. No, I wouldn't be into the tanking part, which would probably force me to not get. Well, I won't say good picks because if good players are all up and down the draft, and not necessarily in the first round,
Let's
first three
let's put
rounds
it
or
let's
whatever.
put let's put it in a context that's more so conducive to us. Have you ever won a Philip A. Conley Award,
Have we
or how
ever
many times
won
have you won it?
yes,
How,
as
uh,
a dining facility, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So okay, how many Philip A. Conley Awards did you win?
Get two.
Two. I
Yeah,
think I won
because
one.
I've only
I think I
I
won.
think our DFAC only competed in the ones I've been in. I think we've only competed in a few, but
Okay.
I think I won two.
I think I won one if I could remember. I think it was one. So, so for those out there, the Philip A. Conley Award is basically the food service, or correction, the
Heisman.
culinary, yeah, the
Well, it's
culinary,
not a Heisman because it's not an
spe-
individual.
it's not
It's not
individual.
individual. Yeah.
So it's the culinary specialist award for food serving and food feeding in the military, in the armed
Right.
forces, actually, to
Right.
where the best top cooks or cooking teams get judged across the board, and they earn points, and then earning those points get presented. They get this award, which is for food of a culinary specialist in the armed forces. So, like I said, Bishop said he's won two. I think I won. We won one as a collective, as a team. Did we win one at Freeman?
I think we won one. I think we won one together. Yeah, I want to say me and you won one together actually.
Yeah. So that it'd be exactly. So that's what which I think I had. I believe. So,
Right.
and so I asked this question, Bishop. If
Look at
you, because
Anthony.
sometimes the you, so Anthony, Anthony, I told you I would find. I would find. That's always another where he ain't got to worry about He ain't got to worry about injuring himself. Like I'm always thinking, Anthony. Anthony. So yes, so of course. But so when you, so I was about to ask this. In essence, like we say as a unit, but for the most part, the units compete. So yes, we want as a facility,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you have units are put forth like, hey, I want this unit to be the one, and we're going to give you a couple of people from the or from the facility. So
Oh, so
I
oh
say
yeah.
that,
Well, so what he's talking about? Yeah. So what he's talking
yeah,
about in regards to when it comes to the Philip A. Conley, when they come normally during the day. They come first thing in the
hmm,
morning. So they're kind of trying to check you. So you put together your best team. So for
hmm,
food service,
hmm,
depending on
yeah.
how big your facility is, how many people
Well, you
you're
got small
feeding,
garrison, large
small
garrison,
garrison, large
yeah.
garrison, stuff like that. It all depends on how many personnel you have. Some dining facilities, I've been in dining facilities where we've had four shifts, and been down to we had three shifts, two shifts, and stuff like that. So with that being said, excuse me, you're always going to put together a team or a shift. When I say team, that's team of shifts. When you put together your team or your shift, you're going to put the best, strongest people on that shift. So when the Conley team comes in, the Conley observer teams come in to observe your facility, that you have your best players forward to be able to perform at a magnitude that's going to get you a good score. Now I know
Hmm.
some of y'all say, well, why shouldn't everybody be on the same? Just like
It's
anything, you
not so
have
much.
good players, you have great players.
You have
Same
role
thing with cooking.
players.
Role
Yeah,
players, you
you have
have the
people
same
that's
thing with that.
specific. You're three
Yeah,
and D. You like it just
yeah,
depends. Yeah.
it's no different with it, and it's no different in food service, whether y'all believe that or not. It's very true. Some people can do prep better than others. Some people can actually cook better than others. Some
bake
people
and all
has
that
a
type of
have a
stuff. Yeah.
presentation, food presentation better than
Mm-hmm.
others. You know,
Plate.
decorating their
Yeah.
plates and stuff, plate presentation,
Mm-hmm.
all of that good stuff. So with that, I totally get where Trey is coming from. You have that team, you want that team up front, so when they
Mm-hmm.
come in, they'll be able to answer questions. Because when it comes to that Philip A. Conley team coming in to observe you, they're asking you questions about what you're cooking, about all aspects of culinary within that time frame. While at the same time they're asking you questions, you can't stop what you're doing because you're still on the time crunch. So you got to be able to multitask. You got to be able to cook and
Mm-hmm.
still answer questions without losing focus on what you're doing at the same time. So I totally get where you're coming from, Trey. With that.
Oh, I
So,
said
but what is
correctly.
your
It
question though?
wasn't. I. So a question. The question was, if you were able to draft soldiers
Mm-hmm.
to build your team, would you tank to be able to have the best pick of your soldiers? Like think
How
about
would
when
you
you.
tank? And when how would you tank your food
Well,
in that aspect?
depending on whatever that would look like okay, you know what I'm saying? Like you just said, getting scored, because you know the units all of us go through. So think about we go through certification,
Mm-hmm.
field feeding certification, where we gotta
Mm-hmm.
pull up, we gotta be able to in place, pop the MKT or the CK, whatever we got, and yada
Mm-hmm.
yada yada to do that. Say if
Mm-hmm.
that those points garnered the opportunity for you to have to determine if you had a worse time, then that obviously you won't have a good section. So you would get the opportunity at the best cook. If we knew like okay, this cook was coming in, we would scout. If we sent out scouts to across the armed forces to be like, okay, oh yeah, we got a cook coming, we got a specialist coming in from from Fort Bragg, you know what I'm saying? He you know what I'm saying, he the truth on the, in baking or stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So yeah, or
Mm-hmm.
he in places the he can get the MKT settled by himself in 3 minutes, get
Mm-hmm.
the top pop. If you was food service, you know you get everything I'm talking about. But
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? If you had that, if we was able to use that and you look at like nah, you know what I'm saying, I'm missing a couple of pieces. Hey, this is what we're gonna do. When we in place, or before we in place, hey, I need you to disconnect the starter so we can be like, hey, something's going wrong in like a maintenance situation. Oh, we get it taken care
No,
of. It cuts our
no,
time. It cuts
no,
our time. Hey, I
no.
need you.
I'm not
I
doing
need
that.
you. I need. I need you to. I need you to put just the. We need. Don't put too much fuel in the generator so we can run and go get the fuel. Like you know, what I'm saying.
No, now don't get me
I
wrong,
need,
man.
I
We
need you to
don't
pick
do.
when you pick up the MKT. I need you on the right back corner to go higher than us before we do it, so it get jammed. So we gotta, you know, say certain things to cut the time off. So it's like you take your
You
time.
strategically being difficult in a way to where it's gonna be
Yeah,
beneficial to the team.
where it's gonna be
I get
beneficial
you.
to you when it cut the time is like
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, you know what
I
I'm saying.
get you.
So if you was
I
able to
get
do
you.
that type of stuff, when you're looking at the aspects, because a lot of people, whether it's the Philip A. Conley, you can put it to something where we know for sure that we won when we won the CG's Best Mess. That's another competition that's huge
Yeah.
amongst
See. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
army field feeding. I mean, not field feeding,
Mm-hmm.
army feeding. So that type of stuff, when you take it like okay, certain things like okay, I want it all, and you have a forefront of what you're looking at is like this is when I'm going to do it, this is how I'm going to do it, and stuff like that. So that's why I say that like if I'm not saying I would because I'm with you. I don't like to be see. I don't like to do things that's in the form of cheating because it takes. I feel it takes away, it diminishes what I feel like I could bring to the table. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're saying that I'm cheating, then when I'm not cheating or when it isn't cheating or when it's not the fact, you're basically saying that I've already got this stigma that oh Trey and his teams cheat. That's why they are this at the third, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the main reasons why I don't like cheating because I don't want to be seen as a weaker party in a sense. But yeah,
Right.
so that's our
Yeah.
thing for field feet for another army story. But of course,
Mm-hmm.
so continue on. Uh, Miami. So of course tonight we know the Celtics and the Heat start off with their series. Uh,
Facts.
Miami guard going into these not just as far as the series, but going into injuries in general. The Miami guard Kyle Lowry is not expected to play tonight, as we know he is still out with the injury being the hamstring injury that he had midway through the Heat versus Philadelphia 76ers series. Additionally, they have two other players, which in Vincent and Strauss, that have hamstring injuries, and they have is also additionally they have two players, other players that's out. One with a knee injury, or not out, who have nagging injuries. One being knee, and I forget what the other one is. So that goes back to what you were saying yesterday, Bishop. I think where you was like everyone has injuries, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone's facing when they because it came up with saying that Chris Paul injured his quad. He's like
Mm-hmm.
everyone has injuries. In this
Mm-hmm.
in fact, I thought it was interesting. I was like, you know what, Bishop just talked about this yesterday, where
82
he
game
said that
season. Yeah.
yeah, 82 game season, yeah, everyone's going to have some type of ailment at some
Yeah,
point.
you're not finna go. You there's no way you're going 82 games and not have some type of. I don't care if it's a sprained wrist, sprained ankle, a strain, pulled hamstring. Something's gonna happen,
Uh,
bro. In 82 games.
Dislocated finger or something like
Yeah,
sprained
something's gonna
finger.
happen.
Yeah.
It's too many games for something not to happen. But this is my
Uh,
question for you, Trey, and
yes.
anybody watching.
Uh, Tatum. I think Tatum
Tatum,
does
why?
because Butler's been there before. Whether
So
it's
is
a
Tatum.
bubble. Tatum hasn't been to the NFL NBA championship yet.
This is his first final.
Not this, so his conference final.
His
I
first
think
conference final.
yeah,
But I
but
thought
but
he ain't never made it to the finals though.
I don't think so. Butler for a fact made it to the
I know
NBA
Butler
final.
has. I know
Yeah.
Butler has.
So
I
Butler,
know
that's
they
why I
did.
say that's why for the most part Butler doesn't have anything to prove yet. I think in this fact that Tatum has more to
But
prove.
being the fact that he has been and hasn't won it though,
He has
he
yeah,
don't have one.
so even
But
now, I'm just thinking from this standpoint, that is all about Butler. It's more so about Tatum. Even to the fact of everyone keeps on coining Tatum as the next great, in which for the most part you would think that he had to live up to that, and they're looking at a microscope is on Tatum because they expect more of him and they expect him to be the one. So if
then
he starts
Butler
to have
out in Miami.
yeah, Butler. Like I said, Butler's been here before. Y'all, he one thing once Butler, if Butler makes it to the championship, then I think
Mm-hmm.
that's when we start looking at like, okay, you remember because they always say like when you had experiences the best teacher, and you've been here
Mm-hmm.
before. You remember what
Mm-hmm.
happened to you the last time you was here. What do
Mm-hmm.
you do to overcome that? Because he got for the most part, they got the same team in this to a degree. What do
To a
you do
degree,
to
right?
overcome that? Yeah, what do you do to overcome that? You've been here
Mm-hmm.
before with the same squad for the most part.
For me, I feel like it's Butler because
Mhm.
and but for the same reasons which you say. However, comma the fact that he hasn't won it, so I feel like he has more to prove to say, okay, we want to see that. Okay, we know you've been here before, so you have the experience, but can you prove to us that you can take that team to win the actual finals? So for me, it's Butler because I feel like the fact of the matter, like you said, he has been there before. However, he hasn't won it. So he has more to prove to show that he can not only just get there, but he has to also win. In my opinion.
I can see your point. So you still tonight you still rocking who you Heat or Celtics? You still
No, for me, I'm rocking it. So for me, I'm just gonna say now. For me tonight, I feel like the Heat gonna win the game tonight. But I have the Celtics winning the whole series. It's going seven, but the Celtics gonna win the series
yeah. I think the
in
Heat
seven.
takes
In seven.
the Heat. I think the Heat take one. But I like I said yesterday, I think the Heat win in six. I think the Heat in six.
Ooh.
So I have them tonight, of course,
So
through
you
our
got a
course of the week.
gentleman suite.
Well, no, because 4 and 6, 4 4 and 2.
Oh, four and
So
two. 4 and 2.
yeah, so yeah,
4 and 2.
so tonight, like of course, we make picks every days. I mean every, but I would at this point I would look at the Heat for one, and then of course after that I'd be like, okay, it's, that's be able to see like, okay, if the Celtics just throttle in, or if the Heat are just doing what they got to do, then we'd be able to like, okay, yeah, this is going to go here. But right now, I'm going with
Mm-hmm.
Heat for Game 1 as well, and basically them winning in six. Uh,
Looks
Tatum
like his
NBA
record
talking.
so cool that leads you to
Yeah,
your
see, that's why I say that it's more on Tatum because everyone has coined him as the next great. And That's what he can't. Of course, not saying
So
that you need.
why do you feel they so why do y'all feel that they named Tatum as the next great instead of Butler?
Now, Butler has never been in a conversation as being the next great player,
Why
but
not though?
it has. Dude, that's a good question, but it has
Yeah,
always
and
been.
that's my thing. Why hasn't
Tatum
he?
has
Because
always
he's
been.
playing ball just as well as Tatum, if not better.
Yeah, it's underwide, so it's just one of those things. But Tatum has been coined that he's been gone ever
The
since.
future,
He's been coined the future with Giannis, and he's been up against these players. And it's like Tatum, and for the most part, Butler is not being looked at. Doesn't get looked at in the same light. Not saying that
hmm
he's it's just one of those things. So um and at some point someone's gonna remove that moniker from Tatum and they're gonna push it to someone else. Let
well, we
Ja do a
already know
couple of
that
things.
They've
Yeah.
already put
Yeah.
Ja in that category.
Ja
That's
and
one.
Booker and stuff like that. So at some
Booker,
point they're gonna
Poole,
remove they're gonna put at some point they're gonna start to pull that from him and they're gonna start looking at someone else.
right,
He's the KD of his era right now.
right
And
now,
then at some point
right now.
someone's gonna become the
Somebody gonna
Tatum
surpass him.
of the era. Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
so
Agreed.
definitely. So
It's because what?
he's on the Heat.
Is it because he's on the Heat?
It could
Who
be. I don't
Tatum?
know.
What do you mean? I mean, not Tatum Butler. What is what
Butler.
because he's on the Heat? That he's what not considered a the future of
Uh,
the league? Is that your question, Anthony, or what? Like, what do you mean? I told like Trey said, I don't know why he's not in conversation as being the future of the league because he should be because he's been pretty consistent for the past few years at playing on whatever team he's been on. So I don't know why they haven't labeled him. Oh, okay, okay. I don't know why they haven't labeled Butler the future. I don't know why the Heat would be a reason why they wouldn't label him as the future of the league, of the face of the league in the future. I don't know why the Heat would be that team be a reason. Um, but I definitely feel like he should be in the conversation. But what season is Butler on? How long has he been in the league?
is it 10 years maybe?
Oh, that might
Let's
be
see.
what it is. That might be what it is. He might be. It might be the fact that he's over 10 years. He's considered pretty much considered a veteran of the league. That might be why he's not being considered. Because normally they look at the future of the league of anybody under 10 years.
11 years. 11
Oh,
years.
okay. Yeah, so yeah. Normally they look at anybody being the future or the face of the league for someone who's under 10 years. So that's why. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why.
Yeah, he came in 2011.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's why.
So uh let's get to this pettiness, Bishop.
Oh,
Um
what pettiness? What?
oh, you ain't seen the pettiness, bro? So okay,
Mm-mm.
it first started with the comments from your boy Patrick Beverly.
Oh,
Patrick
he was going, and he on there again today. He was going ham
Oh
yesterday
yeah, yeah.
too.
So of course
He on there again today. Yeah.
Patrick Beverly started out by saying Jeremy Lin, NBA NBA point guard at one point,
Right. Is
said
he
that
still
he
playing? He
felt,
not playing no more, is he?
basically paraphrase. He doesn't play. No, he play. I think he plays for the teams like. No, he's not playing. I think he plays
Okay.
overseas if he does play. So Jeremy
Okay.
Lin basically was saying in paraphrase, basically saying on his Twitter that he feels bad for Paul for Chris Paul, and
Oh
that
yeah.
he's deserving of a ring. Patrick Beverly caught is like deserving says who? What makes him deserving? So that's the first question which I have. Like, do you believe that Chris Paul is deserving of a championship ring and why so?
What? First of all, let me ask this: what do you mean deserving? I'm deserving of a lottery. I'm deserving
It's
of winning a lottery.
okay. You
I'm
go and
deserving of a lot of things.
that's the same, and I think that's the same thing. That's the same rhetoric in which Beverly had. Like, why is he deserving
Charles
more
Barkley
so?
is deserving of a championship ring, but he didn't get one. Or do? Or and I won't say Charles Barkley is deserving,
Deserving more so
but
than anyone
do
else
you
that's
feel
still
so?
playing.
Right. So do you feel like is it because of the accolades in which the individual has makes you deserving? In other words, is what you're saying
I think
or
I
what
think
they're
I
saying?
think is more. I think is more. I think what Jeremy Lin probably was getting at, and which I don't know because he didn't come back and answer the question in which Beverly asked, but it was one of those things. I think it was more so based upon um, he's considered a point guard. Like he's got all like maybe like you said the accolades. He has all these tangibles, everything, all these different things that was going for himself. Except for the only thing that's eluding him in this
He's
Hall of first ballot Hall of Famer career
he doesn't have a ring.
is he doesn't have a championship. He's been
Mm-hmm.
there, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Last year he was in the actual game and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't happen. So it's like
Didn't
he
make it
doesn't have
happen
a
right.
championship. Yeah. So it's
So,
like
so I guess it's better to say more so that you feel like not necessarily he's a decent. Well, I guess you could use that word deserving. You would want to, you would want for CP3 to get a ring because of what he's done for the league and how well he's played throughout his career. You would want him to have a ring. However, like Leo said, yeah, he got to earn it. That's not something that's given. It's not a given.
yeah,
It's not a
and
given
I think
that
that's the
you
same
have to
thing.
earn that.
I think that's the same thing Beverly, and that's what Beverly's getting at. I was like, why? He's like, what makes him
Right.
so deserving? What,
Yeah.
like, what? So a lot of people feel like how what you said, and what Beverly says, like, why did I say it? I think it got a little. I think it got a little out of off topic because he said it, and then he went. And then he was. He said that part, which you know, what I'm saying I think he had a clear argument, but he took it even further by going in and started talking about how Chris Paul doesn't play defense. He's like
Do you
basically
have to win? Oh, okay. Listen,
he said he can't. He said CP3 can't defend. He
he
called
can't.
he called him a cone. He said he's a cone, and he basically he's finessed the league. And state everyone basically stating that everybody wanted Phoenix. No one was afraid of Phoenix. He went on
Yeah,
to continue
he said
talking, and
that.
he was like in his conversation, he was like at first he was like, you know what, me and my homie was
That
having a
part, Leo.
conversation. He's at first he was like me and my homie. He's like we was having a conversation, and he's like I ain't gonna say no names. And he's like, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna say his name. Me and Paul George was having a conversation. He's like, ain't no one scared of Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns. So he's like, now he's name dropping on private conversations and everything like that. And so it became one of a situation that where he basically talked about. He's like, man, they fear. He's like, they feared Luca. He's like, they was afraid of Luca. He's like, because they can't. They like no one. He's like, Chris Paul doesn't play defense now. Chris Paul is a 9-time All NBA defensive guard in 17 years. So I don't know, was it earlier years? But so it's that conversation came in, but basically Patrick Beverly is like he can't play defense. He's like he's not he's a cone. He basically sits there. He's like he's like Chris Paul has finessed the league to get the calls that he gets and everything like that. And he started breaking down talking about certain plays during the playoffs in which Chris Paul fouled somebody. He's like he didn't get the call. He didn't get called that, but it would if it would have been him that would have had that play, he would have they would have blew the whistle on everything like that. So he started going in. In retrospect to that, Damian Lillard came on to CP3's defense and was like, "Yo, what do you have against? What did CP? What did he do to you at this point?" And he was like, "Bro, on TV, acting like his word is law, speaking on private convos and praying on MF's downfall. This is weird behavior." Shaking his head. I ain't got a horse in the race though. So that was Dame Lillard's comeback, in
Mm.
which he was like, "Yo, what's
Oh,
really going
Patrick
on?"
Patrick
He
Beverly done rubbed some people the wrong way yesterday,
yeah,
all day yesterday. Yeah,
and then
he
yeah,
been to talk on all sports networks all day, and that's why they probably got him back on here today. Because
but yo,
Patrick
he came
Beverly
back.
was going in.
He came back because he came back. He came back at Dame and said, I know why Dame is mad about it. He sees his career heading in the same direction as Chris Paul's. He also has the
Ooh,
same playoff resume as me, and he's supposed to be a star.
ooh,
Shots fired.
ooh, Pat is going in. Patrick Beverly feels some type of way, bro. Why he's at home watching the game like everybody else. Patrick Beverly, it's kind of hard for you to throw shots and throw rocks in you in a glass house, bro. Like it's real hard to do that, bro.
But I think what's
I
going
kind
off.
of.
I think he never said or disputed the fact of where they are. I think he's just talking about, but he said, "So dang,
But
yo,
but
for you,
but
man."
this is the thing though. But this is the thing though. I don't remember Damian saying anything like that. Being that he was a a superstar. In
Well, we know
in
Dame is considered a star. There's
We
no
know that,
dispute that.
but Dame
Yeah.
is also probably one of the most humble guys in the league. That's a star.
So that's what Pat is saying. He's like, you got the same playoff resume as I do, and you supposed to be a star.
But who
You
labels? Yeah, but they label him as a star. Like you said, he ain't labeled himself as a star. You saying that as though, to me, I feel like Patrick is saying that he labels himself as a star. But when it's not, the league, the fans label Dame Time a star. He's done star-like things. You know what I'm saying? He put people out of championship or put people out of the out of the playoffs
and you
because
know
of
what?
his play.
This goes back to what we was just talking about. In this case, Dame is Tatum, Beverly is Butler.
Mm-mm.
Not a direct comparison. I'm talking about in the aspect of
Mm,
what we're talking about. The
mm,
star versus someone who does something who's in the league. And we know,
mm.
like everyone knows who Patrick Beverly is, good, bad, or
Right,
indifferent. We know who Patrick
right.
Beverly is, but there's a difference. You expect more from Dame than you expect from Beverly. You expect more from Tatum than you do from Butler at this point in the
But
career because what they've been labeled. And so I think that's where this is all. Let's go just to set up a point that goes back into what we was just talking about. Why things are said or what case like that. But is this a point to where Beverly is talking? It's I mean, like I know James said, you act like your word is the law, which is not that. But does it bring up a point to where you got to look at some things
what,
like
where does he get that he feels like his word is law though? Where I don't get
that's
that
what
part.
dang that about Beverly. Saying that the things in which you think your word is law because he talk about how CP3 doesn't play defense and he's like
Well, that
remember when Beverly was talking to the sports analyst, he said y'all don't know this because you're not in the locker rooms. So
And I was about to say
this is a
that's why
conversation.
a lot of people want to listen to Patrick Beverly because it's coming from a person who's still in the game playing currently. So you have a tendency to want to listen to what he has to say and believe what he has to say because of the fact that he's in the locker room and he's still on the court playing. That's
Yeah.
why it's such a,
So
you know what I'm saying?
that's what his
And
rhetoric
I'm
is that
surprised CP3
this is coming from
hasn't
this is
bounced
coming
back.
from this is coming from locker rooms basically. Like everyone
Right,
across the league said no
right.
one was afraid of Phoenix for the most part. You know what I'm saying? He's like they feared Luca. They were scared of Luca. He's like so
So he's saying everybody was afraid of. No one was afraid of Phoenix, but everybody was afraid of Luca.
he said no. He's saying that Phoenix was afraid of Luca.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Like they didn't want them problems.
So
And
Phoenix
then
was
he went on
afraid
to
of
say he's like
Luca,
we but
but
yeah.
Phoenix,
So
but
he's
Luca,
basically saying
but
like
but the Dallas
everyone wanted.
Mavericks wasn't afraid of CP3 or Booker.
Yeah, he's basically saying that everyone wanted Phoenix because they felt like they could beat Phoenix. Everyone wanted Phoenix. Everyone wants to take their
Oh,
shot at
gotcha.
Phoenix because they felt like
Gotcha.
yes, they was a top team, but
Right.
it's different. 7 game series is completely
Yes,
different, and when you
it
come
is.
to
When
it,
you playing a
yeah,
team, when you playing one team 7 times,
presumably,
in your
potentially,
house
yeah,
and their house, your house, their house, your
yeah,
house, their house. Yeah, it's a different. That's why for me, like, and a lot of analysts say the same thing. That's why it's a clean slate. It don't matter what y'all did in the regular season. That's
hmm
irrelevant. That's totally irrelevant. It's about what you're doing now. What can you do when it comes time for the 7 games where you getting to see the same players back to back to back. When you playing
hmm
a season, 82 game season, you see a team, you may see them back to back, then you won't see them again for another month and a half, 2 months or whatever.
hmm
But when you playing a team every other night and then you play them again maybe 2 to 3 nights later, you seeing the same team over and over and over again, which is about to give you different looks every time you see them. It's a different ball game. It's a
hmm
total different game. It's not the same game now. I mean, mad kudos to Patrick Beverly for not holding his tongue, which we all know that's Patrick Beverly. He don't believe in holding his tongue. He gonna tell you how he feels
that part.
about the whole thing. He's definitely not shy about telling you uh, the good, bad, and indifferent. And I like Patrick Beverly for that because you got some people who just who don't say anything. They just let it be what it is. But again, I say Patrick Beverly. It's kind of hard for you to throw stones in a glass house when you're throwing stones and you're in a glass house Cause like all three of them or them two individuals which you talking, y'all all at home watching the game. You're all on the outside looking, all of y'all. So it is what it is. Is in other words, is Patrick Beverly calling CP3 overrated? Is that what
It's,
you would say, Trey?
ooh, you
It
know what?
sounds
That's a
like it
good
to me.
question.
That's what it sounds like to me. In my opinion, he
I
sounds
guess
like he's actually calling Dame overrated too. In the backspin of it, because he's saying you're just like him. He said you're just like CP3. You're pretty much following his footsteps. So to me, it sounds as
shots,
though Patrick Beverly is saying these two guys are
shots
overrated. Yeah,
fired.
sounds like he on the slide. He's
He
calling
getting
both of them
start.
cats
He getting
overrated,
started early in the season.
real
Like,
early,
yeah, we getting it started real early. Like, we ain't even
real
done with
early.
the 21-22 season.
Do
He
you agree
like
with him,
that
Trey?
they're overrated.
Overrated? Do you believe anything he says about CP3 or and Dame? Do you believe what he says about the league has well, we know he's a superstar. That's without question. But do you believe in the fact that he's not a defensive player? He's not what everybody claims he is. I mean,
So
do you believe
I would
do you
say
believe
that
what Pat's saying?
I would say that I believe that it's possible that his defensive prowess has passed him by, and that like
Right.
Anthony said that your body gets old and change, so you can't do what you used to do in the past. So
That part.
that's evident. Where of course the blow bys and stuff like that now, and when people start to realize is like so that's evident.
Right.
Um, as far as him, as far as Dame. I think he has a point when he says that we have the same playoff resume and you're supposed to be a star, which it comes down to the word in which I tend to use a lot, galvanize. Like he can't galvanize the team around him to will them to be better. Like you gotta think at one point Dame had LaMarcus Aldridge and they got handled a couple of times
Mhm.
in those years. Uh, so it kind of comes down to that
But is
when you talk
Patrick
about
Beverly not a star or not? Yeah or nay?
no, he's not.
He's not? Okay.
But he's just
Role
he's a
player?
pretty good role player. Yeah,
Okay. That's
he's a
fair.
conscious. Yeah, so
But go ahead
he's
and
a
finish what
different.
you're saying. I just wanted to know.
And yeah, yeah, and so I think that's why he that and so that gives some premise to what he's talking about, in my opinion, about our resume, our playoff resumes are the same, but you the star. So it's
Okay.
like it
Okay.
makes you sit up and think. It was like okay, but definitely definitely about a dot shots are definitely fired. So
For sure.
I asked this question, bitch. So I got two questions before we get into a little NFL stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So one question is, taking a look back at the second round, if you was given the MVP to the second round player, who would your MVP be?
The
Tatum,
second round of the NBA
Luke,
playoffs,
yeah, Tatum, Luca, Bucket, Jimmy buckets. Like
Butler
who
or Butler,
you
yeah.
you would give it to Butler?
No. I'm just okay.
Yeah, Jimmy buckets. Who would you look at, or was it someone else in what you look at? Like yeah, they definitely was the second round MVP.
Bro, it's hard not to give it to Luca, bro.
Yeah, he
It's
showed he
hard not to
can't.
give it to
He
it's
showed
hard not
like
to give it to
yeah, yeah.
Luca, bro. It's hard. Boston did what they did as a team. Don't get me wrong, Dallas did too, because like you said, um,
Luca
um,
couldn't win it by himself.
right, because Dinwiddie and them came in and did their thing. You can't knock that. But damn it, that damn Luca, man, it's hard not to give him that.
It's like
It's hard.
it's like you're seeing it at this point. You're seeing it because Luca came in 3 years, 4 years ago, and it was like, oh, okay, this cat from the
Overseas.
international, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and you see him everything in which we sit up and thought Luca was. We're seeing it in front of us,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
exactly what we've seen. The
Mm-hmm.
man is a problem, a huge
He is.
problem.
He's a very huge problem. He is that dude.
So
He is
I
that
would
dude.
agree with
However,
this.
comma,
Hmm. Hmm.
however, comma, I still got the Celtics and the Warriors in the finals.
Oh yeah, I do too. I'll be surprised. You know what? If I was to sit up and say this, if the if if Dallas can get past Golden State, then I'm cheering Dallas for
The win for the
for the win.
final,
Yeah,
final,
for the
final.
finals.
Mhm.
Regardless of who go there, if Dallas gets past Golden State, then I'm rocking with Luca and the squad to win
Ooh.
another championship.
Well, let me ask you this then.
Steph, without a doubt. That is so. It was. I had a quick twinge in my head where I went through like I'm a fast thinker. So
Right.
in layman's term, for a regular person, I went through like, oh man, that in my head. But I'm a fast thinker, so in my mind, I did that. But for me, in my mind, where instead of just it was like wait, it was like and it was like. So it was that. So, but Steph, man, when you simply look at definitely Steph.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Steph is just for me, and anybody can answer this. For me, it would have to be Steph. Steph is just it's just the dude. When it comes down to clutch, that dude is gonna come through for nine times out of ten. 9 times out of 10, Steph is gonna come through in clutch. If your game is on the line, you need that shot. And the fact of the matter is, I think the biggest thing, and that's not taking anything from Luke either. Fact of the matter, if the game is on the line and there's one shot left to be made and you got the ball, and the team in which you're playing against knows that they're going that the ball is going to Steph and you still can't stop it, bro. That's a different type of animal. Now, mind you, I get again. I say that's the same with Dallas. If the game's on the line and Dallas got one shot to win the game, the ball's going to Luke without question, and they know, and everyone knows that. But if the ball was to go to either one of those hands, those two individuals' hands, I'm still more comfortable with Steph. I just am. I'm
I
picking
agree.
Steph all day and twice on Sunday.
Yes. So LeBron James was asked a question. He was asked a question:
Mm.
Who in a 2-on-2 versus Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan? Who would LeBron pick as his running mate? So he didn't give a defined answer, but he did give one to three players. Do you know who the
Kobe,
three players was that he said that was one?
Kobe. Probably, you know what? Knowing LeBron, he probably said Kobe. He probably said Dwayne Wade. Third, oh, he gave three people. Kobe, Dwayne Wade. Oh, I don't know who the third would have probably been.
So he did say Kobe. He said I would
Mm-hmm.
choose Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
His other two were KD.
Ooh, I would have never thought that.
His last one was Kyrie.
Wow. I never would have thought that
He's
one
like
either.
he'd choose Kobe, KD, or Kyrie to be his running mate versus Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan in a two on
He picked
two
the he
challenge.
picked the KKK, huh? Kobe, Kyrie, and KD. He picked the KKK.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yeah. I wouldn't have. I definitely wouldn't have seen either one of those two. I'd have thought he
I
would.
think
I thought he
I
would
think
have
it's
definitely picked. I thought he would have definitely
D
picked
Wade.
Dwayne. Yeah, that's what
I think
I would have thought.
I think his best bet would
But
have
it would
been
have been
KD.
hard. You know why he picked? But then again, well,
I
yeah,
think K
it
I
would have been
think KD
hard for
would be
him.
his
Yeah,
best
but
chance to win.
so with Dwayne, who is Dwayne gonna guard?
Yeah,
If
that's
it
why I
was
said his
him and
best.
LeBron.
That's
Yeah,
why I
Dwayne
said
would have been. Yeah, yeah.
the best chances for him to win would be KD.
KD. Yeah, and
Because
who's Kyrie gonna guard? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
now
That's
who's
it.
going to guard Kyrie? But it's a chance that
Yeah,
someone can neutralize Kyrie, in my opinion. But
yeah.
I definitely
He gonna
would
def
be.
Kyrie would definitely be on Jordan would definitely be on Kyrie, but Kyrie's gonna kill Jordan off the dribble. I think he's gonna get. I think he's gonna get. We saw what Allen did. AI did with Jordan on that dribble, so we know. I think Kyrie could get Kobe, could get Mike off the dribble. However, comma, who's gonna stop Mike? Because the show won't be Kyrie. It will not be Kyrie. He's
Let's say,
gonna
but
post
then when you
Kyrie
bring
up
up,
all day.
but now when you think of when you say that, I think Kobe is like maybe
Kobe, so
Kobe.
Kobe is going to be a perfect matchup with Mike because he he emulates himself. He emulated himself after Mike, so he learned all Mike's moves. We've seen video where he's copied a lot of Michael's moves into his game, so he kind of knows. So you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
that's the thing. In the matter is, could Kobe? Bro, it ain't could Kobe.
Yeah,
Kobe
true
couldn't
that.
stop Michael because Kobe played in Mike's era. Kobe couldn't stop Michael, even though Michael was older. He still couldn't stop Michael. So yeah, and when it came down, and LeBron and Scotty, that would be a great battle. That would be a great battle between the two of them, in my opinion. That would be an awesome battle.
You know what? So yeah. So definitely. So you know what, Bishop? I have a slight quarrel with you. Are you a Fed? I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm not gonna you put no porches. Are you a Fed?
Fade? No, I ain't
Yeah.
no fade.
You sure, man? Because
I'm
it's like
positive.
we be talking about certain things, and then next you know, like we was talking about yesterday, the whole Deshaun Watson thing, and jumps the boogie. All of a sudden,
I don't know why
Deshaun
y'all don't
Watson,
listen to me. I told you.
Deshaun Watson is talking to them. Like they already said, like, so are you a Fed, man? I just want to know.
No,
You
I'm
got to
not
tell
a
us the truth,
fed.
right? If I ask you, you have to tell us the truth, correct?
I'm not a fan. I'm telling you, bro. I said that. I don't know why. I don't know why y'all didn't see that coming, bro. I told y'all he's going to get suspended. I told you it's gonna happen. He's gonna at least
Oh
get
no.
at least 4 to 6 games. He's getting suspended. I told you it's gonna happen. But before he gets suspended, he's like, "Hey, man, I'm finna teach you. I'm finna host you guys right. I'm finna do you guys right. Even though I might not be there for the first few games, man. Let's go to the Bahamas. Let's have some fun. We finna chop it up. We about to
I
get,
got I got
throw
some
something
masseuse. I
back.
got some masseuses.
Yeah. The team like, hold up, no. Let's leave the masseuses
I
out
got
now,
some
Sean.
masseuses, and they with it.
Sean, we can't do this. The masseuse part, we can't. You already in trouble for
It's
that.
like you had me, so you said the M word. Like, yo,
Yeah,
I'm
that
good.
part.
I'm good. I'm good.
When
I'm
you said
good.
the
I
M
just
word, we out. But yeah, man. Um, yeah, it's funny, and you know what? It's crazy you say that because when I saw that yesterday, I said, I told Trey, I said it yesterday. He ain't gonna get watch. They not finna let that black man just slip out like that and not give him some type of punishment, bro.
I was like, you and
Not
Anthony
gonna
are
happen.
feds.
I told you, bro. They not finna allow that to happen, man. They not. It's going. It's going to take place. It's going to take place. It is what it is. But I mean, I'm happy that he is taking the team to the Bahamas, trying to build a rapport with them, trying to get that camaraderie going out there in Cleveland. That's a good thing. But most quarterbacks do that anyway. I don't know if they all take. I don't know if they take them to Bahamas and stuff like that, but they always do something to try and build a rapport with their team and stuff like that. So
Usually, yeah,
that's
fam.
cool.
What would you do if you was getting that type of money, whether NBA, basketball, whoever? If you was getting that type of money, what are you doing for your squad to
So let
build
me
that type of rapport? You knew there.
let me ask you this first. And
Yes.
this is just me. Am I? For me to assume that when it says he's hosting the teammates in the Bahamas, that means he's paying for them to go. No, you Trey, you laughing, but I'm saying serious. I mean, does that mean because when you host something, that means you basically are the dude or that person, that individual that's pretty much
So,
forking up the money for that, right?
I had this conversation often when you be like hosting or whatever case like that. It's like,
Yeah.
so am I paying? So if I just back in the day, remember they used to go Dutch? I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was before our time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I think it would have to be understood. It just would need to be talked about. Like, hey,
Right.
I set this up. This is what it's gonna cost. Come through.
Oh,
Or,
so
but
that.
if you
Uh.
got that, but if you got that money, are you hosting? I would think that in which the conversation we have lately, like we was during our last leadership meeting, we talked
Mm-hmm.
about that. Like basically, if I'm asking you to become something, why am I asking you to pay at
Right.
the end of the day? So
Right.
I would presume that he's fitting the bill for it to an extent.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
he's to an extent he's foot the bill. So
Okay.
okay. So in that matter, if you got the cheddar, you insist. You know what I'm saying? You let insist on like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and have the team
Mm-hmm.
uh on setup and pay for the rooms and all that type of stuff. And we
Mm-hmm.
gonna go to the Bahamas. I'm gonna buy out buy X amount of rooms for the resorts in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
What are you? Is that what you're doing, or what are you doing exactly to kind of like get that rapport? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, so I'm doing the same thing. I'm gonna host. I'm taking my teammates. I'm taking probably the skilled players and probably my O line and stuff like that. But we're not going to Bahamas. We're going to Colorado or Alaska or something like that. we, we ain't going. We ain't going to nobody's Bahamas, man. Because I don't know how much focus we gonna be doing over in the Bahamas. So I'm taking you to Colorado. Or I'm taking you to Alaska. Because I'm taking you in. People's like, why Colorado or Alaska? Ain't simply, or I might even take you to what is it called Fort Drum. What is it called? I might
Buffalo,
take no, it's not Buffalo, but what Fort Drum is in
New York.
yeah, but it's something water. The
Oh,
city is
Niagara
called.
Falls.
No,
Oh,
no,
no water. Um,
I can't think of the name of the city that Fort Drum is in. But anyway, I'm taking you there because of the simple fact that being in Cleveland, I'm gonna try to get y'all acclimatized. I'm taking you to places where it's cold, so we can be acclimatized, so we can get
Watertown.
acclimatized for when we have our home game. That's what I'm doing out there in Cleveland. So I'm taking you to places like like I said, Colorado. Taking you maybe to Canada or
Watertown. That's
to
what he said. It's called Watertown.
Watertown. Thank you, Watertown. I knew it was water something. I could thank you. Taylor made it's Watertown, or I'm taking you to Watertown so you can so you can get acclimatized. I'm not taking you to no damn Bahamas. No, on my no. No, I'm not. But we can go somewhere.
No,
We can go.
no, no.
What is his contract? What is it? What's
Talking
his
about
contract for the next year? They talking
he's
about
paid.
Deshaun.
He
He getting
making
paid.
almost close to 50 million. Like he
Yeah,
paid.
he
Like
getting
bro,
paid.
he could afford it
He got the
without a doubt.
money. Yeah,
Yeah.
he got the money without question. That ain't put a damper in nothing. And he had it. Didn't he have some a certain amount of guaranteed too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the
He's good.
money.
He's good.
Yeah, he
The
good.
money ain't the question.
Yeah, he probably spent maybe a little
The
over a
money ain't a
million.
thing.
Yeah, he probably spent over a little over a million for. And he only probably paying for lodging and the trip
Yeah.
over and back. He ain't paying
Yeah.
for food and all that.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
on,
think. I
or
don't know.
unless he, I mean, most likely overseas is all inclusive anyway. So,
That
like I
part.
said, to an
That part.
extent, he's paying like so. That's not a problem. Like, I think we would go to the Bahamas. I think we turn it up
You
in
would
the
take him to the
Bahamas.
Bahamas?
Yeah,
You would take him to?
yeah, because you want to relax. That's the idea, is to get them relaxed, maybe have a
Right.
conversation. I think you set up some things maybe to maybe I would have a whole. It's something similar in which what I've been thinking about for our organization, something like that. Well, I'm
Oh,
not
oh,
saying
oh, let's
not
all
saying
right.
I. No, wait, hold. Not saying I. Let's get that straight. Let's get that straight. Not saying I. I'm just saying the ideal of doing this at the third
Go
to
to
where I
Vegas and
go
give
for
your
it.
line
I
fifty
set it
thousand.
up.
What
Anthony,
the
stop it.
Anthony? Stop. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. What's the
I'm not
word?
supporting no habits.
There you go. I'm not doing that. I'm not supporting your habits. But hold on, Trey. Hold on. Wait. Let me do this real quick. Hold on.
So as Bishop goes off the to get that, so but yeah, I definitely think he's a Fed. He's probably going to get his badge. They probably told him something in his ear, like, "Hey, he told you, you gotta let him know." But yeah, so interesting enough, like we was just saying, what that all came from is a simple fact. But now that that they're due this week, I believe, if not today, this week, they're the NFL officials to Deshaun Watson in reference to the allegations and everything that came up, which stopped him from playing last year, to where now they're going to do an investigation themselves based upon everything. Now that it's been found that he's not to be indicted for any criminal offenses, they're going to go through and have a conversation, do their own investigation, in which they're going to go ahead to lay forth if there is to be um, anything levied towards him as far as a suspension in within the new CBA in which the NFL has, to where before it was all a trial with Roger Goodell. Now is no longer a trial with Roger Goodell. Now is basically they're going to have the council or the committee look at everything, and they're going to make a determination on whether or not he should or should not be suspended or fined or whatever, because like whatever the outcome would be for Deshaun Watson. Uh, So it remains to be seen. We'll find out presumably at some point soon.
You talking about Nike? They talking about Nike might is unlikely to extend shoe deal with Kyrie Irving.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah. I seen that
ooh, ooh. But
because
what?
he.
So no, back to what you were saying though, Trey. You were saying what about what you wanted to do with the order? You was wanted to pay
I,
for what? What?
I didn't say I pay for anything. That's
Make
I
sure
am
we put
very.
that out in the meme.
No, I did not say I pay for anything.
What was
Uh,
that you were saying?
uh, so additionally, uh, of lately, of course, another thing that came out in the news, Antonio Brown, AB, would like to go back to Pittsburgh to retire. Not saying he wants to play. He
But
just
just to
wants to go back.
retire. Yeah, I
He
like
just
that.
so wants to retire as a Steeler. I asked you, Bishop,
So
if
is
you
he
were.
talking about retiring now, or is he stopping? Is he not playing anymore, or what?
No, I'm
Is
not saying.
that what it is?
I don't think he's not playing anymore. I think he's just making the case that he wants to go back
When
and
it comes time.
he wants to
When it
retire
comes time.
as a Steeler.
When the
Um,
time comes. Okay.
if if you're the owner, are you allowing that, or are you like, nah, bruh?
Ooh, because of how the bad blood.
Yeah, everything has happened. Like, nah, keep on walking. We ain't talking to you
Ooh,
anymore.
we.
Keep on walking.
Ooh, that's a good question, man.
It's like you don't want to be petty, but at the same time, it's
Every
like this is my
time, but
organization, and you done went and did a lot of stuff, and not to say that we
you
want
didn't
you.
shame the hell out of the back and roll, yeah. But at the same time, he did win some Super Bowl for him.
He did. He built him.
Yeah.
He built
Me?
himself on that on
Yeah.
the
For
black and
me,
gold.
he did. For me, yeah, I would let bygones be bygones and probably let him do it. Look at Anthony. Anthony like, hell no. Hell no. You know, you won't turn my what he say you won't turn the retirement speech into a joke comedy show. I feel you on that one. But if you don't, he can still do it for whenever he retires at, wherever he retires at.
Yeah, when you start to feel a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm. Or you're not allowing him to come back. Right now, he got things going on with Keisha Coles and stuff.
Keisha
So
said she miss him.
yeah, got his name all on us. Had a tattoo, so called tattoo with his initials. He's supposed to be starting a music career or something, or in the booth and stuff and all that. From what I hear, AB.
Speaking of first letters and B's, Green Bay Packers extend Jair. Uh,
Alexander.
yes, Alexander 4-year extension with 30 million guarantee,
Mm-hmm.
$84 million contract. Which will make him gives him a 1.1 million base salary for the year. Um, Again, someone else. See, so Jair can take the team out too.
What do you mean take the team out?
He got that money, 21 million a year.
Oh yeah. You talking about the
Yeah.
Alex Bottom town?
Do you think they overpaid Jair, or you think it was suiting or a value?
How much he get paid?
84 million, which comes out to be about 21 million a year.
No, I won't say. I won't say he got overpaid. No. The way these guys is getting paid now, man, it's ridiculous.
So
I
yesterday,
can't wait to see Kyler Murray's and Lamar Jackson's contract when it comes out.
maybe Lamar Jackson's Kyler. I don't know.
This dude hate the hate is so real, bro. This dude here
So,
hate. The hate is so real, bro.
so yesterday we was having a conversation. I know Leo was probably still around, in which it was stated that James Coach Allen of the Saints basically stated that he believes that Drew is just playing, and that him speaking about
Why would he
potentially
be playing?
God, he's playing, man. Come on, Bishop. We just went through this yesterday, man.
Why would
That
he be
man is
playing?
not coming back.
That's oh my god. That's what y'all said about. That's what y'all said about Tom.
See, you a fan, bro. You a fan. That's.
I was just getting ready to say, see, you didn't believe me about Deshaun. I'm telling y'all,
I'm sorry.
listen.
Watch what I say over here, because
I'm
before next you
telling you.
know, you
I'm
like
telling
Trey. You ain't went to jail for nothing. And next you know, I'm locked up. It's like, see,
ah,
it's like you ain't going to jail for
bro,
that. Like, no. The
bro,
next you know, they
bro,
won't let me out. Steady trying to
bro.
find a motive. Why did I go?
Drew Brees is not coming out, bro, and just saying stuff to be saying stuff, man. That ain't even him. That ain't even he ain't even that type of person. Drew is not coming out doing that. So obviously he has a real um he really means that, or he really has a feeling about coming back playing, man. So don't be surprised, man. Do not be surprised if Drew Brees comes back. Brees looks hard how Brady does. He's thinking about coming back only if Saints get a better line of weapons. Well, they got the weapons there. We talked about that yesterday. They definitely got the weapons in offensively. Their defense was a top five. Their defense is top five right now. Their defense is top five. By what
Drew Brees
by
cannot.
analysts the other day. They top
Drew
five defense
Brees
after the
cannot
draft.
push. He cannot push the ball down the field. He's not come.
Y'all
He
keep
doesn't.
saying okay. Y'all
He
gonna get
can't. He's not coming
y'all
back,
see that
man.
name in front of my name, right? Y'all see that Doug? Just over here.
Again, like I was about to say, we're talking about. It keeps coming up. Can the New Orleans Saints dethrone the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I believe
Nope.
that is a emphatic yes.
Nope.
The Saints
Not as long as
will.
Brady there.
The Saints will
Not as long as
dethrone
Brady
the
there.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year.
Nope. Not as long as Brady's there. So this is a better year to make one last run. Yeah. This is the year. I feel
No,
like Tom. I feel like
don't.
Drew.
I
I feel like Drew feels like Tom, like you
Anthony
said, Anthony. I feel like Drew feels that if Tom can do it, I can do it too.
Anthony, I know that you're a Bishop's partner, but y'all fans. But I'm so
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. This is not the year for Tampa Bay. I mean, for the Saints to dethrone the Tampa Bay Bucks. That's not gonna happen long as Tom is there. But if Drew is there, and I may reconsider because it'll be a different game with Drew against Tom. But if Drew doesn't come back and it's Jameis, no, he didn't. No, 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 no,
so.
absolutely not.
Do you think? Additionally, like I think I would think that a healthy Derrick Henry would be the MVP for this year. So a question I have is, do you? But on the opposite side of the spectrum, when we talk about that, do you think that the playoff window has closed for Tennessee currently? Do you think that is a wrap?
Mm-mm, not at all.
2022 is going to be the year that they missed the playoffs.
Nah, not
Okay.
at all. Not in my opinion. No, I think Ryan Tannehill has enough. And then with Derek in the backfield, I know they did lose AJ. However, I think they picked up a wide receiver in the draft. So yeah, I don't see them. I still see them possibly making the playoff. Yes, I do. I mean, because when you look at it, I don't know why people want to fall off from the Tennessee Titans. I don't get it. I really don't understand why so many people want to fall off with the Tennessee Titans. Um, however, it is what it is.
Anthony has a good point. Robert Woods right now is what I understand. I haven't looked at their
Yeah, but they picked up one in they did pick one up in the draft though. Picked up a wide receiver in the draft. I'm trying to see who it was. Yeah. Who's their wide receivers? I wait. Well, like you said, it's Woods for one. Uh, the other one, you gotta think about it. Hmm. Who's out there gonna outdo the Titans in their division? Well, we had them like second, third.
Yeah, second. Well, no, was it second?
Who's either second or third?
Let's see. Hold on. Let me see Tennessee.
See, because
Let
they
me
in
look
what?
at
They in
Tennessee's
AFC, right?
respective lineup. Uh, yeah, the AFC.
Yeah, they're in the AFC. So who we looking at? Cleveland being over them, maybe Denver, Cincinnati, of course. But if we just talking about in there,
Oh, that's what they got. They drafted Traylon Burks, so they're expecting they have Traylon Burks from
Traylon Burks, that's him. Yeah.
From Arkansas, right? From Arkansas.
Is he from Arkansas? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
Is he
Traylon Burks
Burks?
from
I think
Arkansas.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Traylon
think so.
Burks from
Yeah.
Arkansas. Robert Woods and Nick Westbrook
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
their
Traylon Burks, that's him. That's the one they picked up in the draft. So a rookie and someone coming off ACL. Smart. They're going to Henry down the ground. We'll see. I think they got a decent tight end too. Don't they got um the they tight end Tennessee got a decent tight end if I'm not mistaken. What's that kid's name?
the one they had is gone, but they have they
Oh,
currently have
the one I'm thinking about is gone.
yeah,
The one
he's
I'm thinking
gone.
about is gone.
But they no, they have Austin
Oh, I
Hooper.
didn't know they got Hooper. That's him.
Yeah, they
Him.
do. They have
Hooper.
Austin Hooper. Yeah.
Hooper. That's him.
So
Should be alright.
what two things happening in scheduling. Well, one is definitely supposed to happen next year, and the other is supposed to happen later on in this football season this year. So the first thing that's supposed to happen next year is next year. Um, what um what Amazon is pushing for, because Amazon is basically
Mm-hmm.
the new Thursday night football channel for the NFL for I think presumably the next 2 years or whatever the contract was they signed. But one Thursday night that they're not going to be able to get is the Thanksgiving Thursday night, because that's usually for the major networks, the regular football games. So what they have gotten is now Amazon will be the spot on for Black Friday, as they have garnered the opportunity to show a game on Black Friday.
Mm.
So next year the schedule is going to call for a Black Friday game that'll be shown on Amazon. Now, what's going further is much when you talk about later on this year, and Bishop, let me know if you agree with this or not. Is they're going to start flexing in 2023? They're going to start flexing uh, Monday night games.
What do you mean flexing?
So the basically flexible schedule where let's take for instance that they have Philadelphia Eagles that are playing on supposed to play a Monday night game against whoever, I don't know. So what they can do is with the projection of what the Eagles looking like, the Eagles could be trash or will be trash, and so they're not going to. That's not an appealing game in that December time frame. So as opposed to keeping the Eagles in that spot, they can flex them, and now you have the 49ers and their
That's a
prescribed
trash
schedule.
game. Why would
It
they?
will be
That would be
playing.
trash.
Will be playing instead of the Eagles in their game.
Why?
Like
Nobody wants to
instead
see.
the Eagles and the Eagles and the Cardinals will be a trash game. So
No, that would not be a
as
trash.
opposed
That
to
would be.
showing the Eagles and the Cardinals on for that game, they would flex the 49ers and the Rams because they're
No.
having a
No
better
one would want to
season,
see that. The
and
Rams
they
would
would
kill
basically
the
shoot they.
49ers.
So
So
that's
why would
what's
anybody want to watch a game that was guaranteed the Rams was about to stump the devil out of the 49ers? So why would we? That's not a good comparison. I
I'm
don't
just
know how
saying.
you
So
can compare.
that's what they would do. They would flex their game. So they would basically
No.
change it up. So the to show that game of the better of the games for the better ratings. So
Well,
they're going to start
I
doing
like
that
that
with Monday night
idea.
games.
I like the concept. I love the idea. However, it will never be that scenario because that is the worst scenario that you could ever really have used as an example. Who would want to
Watch,
watch the
watch,
49ers
watch,
and Rams
watch
game?
the watch the Eagles get flexed out of the game this year. I know it happened to the 49ers 2 years
Watch
ago.
the 49ers get flexed out.
It
Watch the
happened to
49ers.
it happened 2 years ago. They got flexed. They got
No,
flexed.
no, no. I watched every Eagles game. They didn't get flexed. Well, the 49ers and the Rams, really? Super Bowl champion Rams? Ooh, nobody want to see that. Nobody want to see that. That's a waste of time. That's time you can't get back for watching a game that just wasn't even worth watching.
You know what? I would just when the season starts and it ends, then we'll see who
Of
had the
course,
better team.
we did.
No more talking. No more talking.
But for you to think y'all gonna win 12 games is utterly crazy. You think y'all gonna win 12 games? Where they do that at? Woo, no.
So I'm gonna give you a bunch of names, Bishop, and we were talking
Oh,
about
hey, oh boy, the Tennessee Titans, they picked up Kyle Phillips too out of UCLA. A rookie wide receiver.
yes. I'm gonna give you a couple of names, and I want you
Mm-hmm.
to I want you to let me know buy or selling on them being a uh, a college a CFP hopeful potentially for the this year in college football.
Okay.
First name I'll give you Florida Gators. Are you buying or selling them as a contender
Who
this year? Florida Gators.
am I buying or selling?
Yes,
The
them being
Florida Gators?
contenders. Yes.
I'm buying. I think the Florida Gators are going to have a bounce back year. They were doing pretty decent at first last season,
Mm-hmm.
but then they went on a slump and they kind of fell off. I think I'm gonna buy.
You gonna buy that? Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm selling it. I don't think they're there yet or ready yet. LSU Tigers.
Ooh, you know they went straight trash. I'm buying. They'll have a better season than they did last season. So we
Okay.
come into the SEC.
The Oregon Ducks.
So
It's
trash, trash. They trash. Straight trash.
I'm selling it as well, but not for the exact same reasons as Bishop. I swear, this guy. All
Yeah.
right, let's move to a little more. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, buying or selling them as
Sell.
contenders.
They don't play nobody, man. They get to pick
But
their own
yet
schedule
every year they still contending. Like I don't
because
get
they
that. How
pick
they in the
their own
conversation?
schedule. They pick their schedule. They ain't playing nobody. Selling. They trash.
Wisconsin Badgers.
So they a sleeper team, man. I'm gonna buy on Wisconsin, man. The Badgers, they a sleeper team, and they past few seasons, they past few seasons they've been been somewhat of contenders. So I'm buying.
Okay. The Utah the Utah Utes.
Selling. They a fluke.
Oh, the disrespect.
They a fluke. Why I gotta go in timeout, Anthony? What are you talking about, bro? They a fluke. You talking fluke.
All right. Michigan Wolverines, buying or selling? A contender.
A contender?
Yes.
Selling.
Hmm.
Harbaugh, it might be time for him to go.
Texas A&M Aggies, buying or
Selling.
selling?
They don't even really. They should even be in the SEC. We need to take their place. They should go back to the Big 12. So,
All right. Oklahoma Sooners, buying or selling?
boom! Sooners! Of course I'm buying. Are you
This
serious,
guy.
man?
Oh my goodness.
Out your
You know what?
mind, bro. Let's go. You out your mind, bro. Of course I'm buying. Anything else would be uncivilized.
The USC Trojans, buying or selling?
Selling baby sell trash. Trash. Uh, and y'all got uh uh Riley, Bleak and Riley, and Buster. Yeah, y'all trash. I mean, y'all probably gonna do well because y'all your conference. We spoke about this already, but
But you don't foresee us being a CFP hopeful.
y'all might make it to the. You know what? Y'all might make it to the CFP, but y'all gonna get thrashed. What y'all do?
You know what? I hope we get to CFP and we play Oklahoma.
No, that's not what y'all want.
You know what? I
That
want
is
that in the
not what y'all want.
championship.
Y'all don't
I
want that
want that in the
smoke.
championship.
Y'all don't want that
Venables
smoke.
versus Riley,
Y'all don't
national
want that smoke.
championship, CFP. Let's
Y'all
go
don't want that smoke. Y'all don't want that
to
smoke.
settle it so I can hear what
Y'all don't
excuses
want that
come
smoke.
up after we thoroughly demolish you
Y'all
on
don't
a
want that
national
smoke.
stage.
Y'all don't want that smoke.
Clemson Tigers, buying or selling?
I'm gonna buy it.
You'll buy Clemson potential contender?
I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, they're probably gonna run through the ACC, probably most likely.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it.
Alabama buying or selling as a contender this year.
There's no way you can sell around. The dude is
No way to sell.
no way you can sell. Come on, we talking about the goat of college football.
Ohio State
No
Buckeyes.
saying. Um, I'm buying. Ohio State is on a hell of a tangent right now. I'm buying. I'm buying over Ohio State.
And
The
lastly,
Ohio State.
the dish. Let's see if there's any disrespect. The Georgia Bulldogs
I'm
buying
buying.
or selling on national.
It's hard with you
Buying.
know what? They lost a lot of players. They lost a lot. But they had 10 going the first round, I think they said. 9 or
Yes.
10, something like that.
Yes.
Going the first and second round. Ooh. That means they got a lot of first time players coming into this season. Oh, I'm gonna buy it because they are the reigning champions.
Given
I'm gonna
the
buy
given the benefit of the doubt.
it. Benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give them the benefit of the doubt. They are the reigning champions right now, so I'm gonna have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
So as we get ready to close out the last couple of minutes of the conversation to have, so Bishop, I ask you, what do you think is up with all these athletes and these domestic violence charges? Of course,
You
last
talk
week they had
about.
the Judy. You had Jerry Judy in his situation last
Mm-hmm.
week. Just last week, yesterday, we had Rajon Rondo arrested for a DV. Like,
And
what is
threatening with a gun.
yes? What is your take on any of this? Like,
I don't know what's
for
up with
one,
these cats, bro. I don't know why they. I don't know what's up with the domestic disputes.
you had Earl Thomas arrested
Yep.
earlier this
The
week
other week.
as
Yep. Last week.
as
Yep.
he was on a run for a week or was missing. They
Yep.
couldn't find him. Won warrant
Yep.
for his arrest. Like
I don't know what to say about that, man. I don't. It's too easy to walk away.
Anthony Price says, show
My
support.
so I support really. It's too easy to walk away, in my opinion, man. Just walk away from the situation instead of finding yourself in a worse situation, which you know, all y'all know as excuse me, as being athletes, excuse me, y'all in the limelight. So anything y'all do, y'all can fart aloud. Y'all fart loud. Somebody's gonna know about it. Somebody's gonna know about it. So I don't know. I don't know why they just don't walk away from those situations. And don't get me wrong. Sometimes it is very difficult to walk away, but you have that option. You do not have to engage in confrontation with your significant other, girlfriend, wife, whatever.
Mm. So, of course, real quick, WNBA as last night the Phoenix Mercury took on the Seattle Storm. The Seattle Storm are not the team they have been in the past, as they have currently dropped to 1-3 on the season. Phoenix improving to 2-1 as the Phoenix Mercury take care of the Storm, 69-64. Of course, Tina Charles 4 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. Brianna Turner 2 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists. Skylar Diggins Smith 14 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Diana Taurasi 24 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 11 points from Diamond the Shields. The Storm were led by Jewel Lloyd's 26 points, but it kind of like stopped there. Stephanie Talbot 8 points, Gabby Williams 7 points, Rashonda Gray for 2 points, Brianna January 5 points, Sue Bird 2 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Brianna Stewart did not play last night, as again the Storm, or I mean the Storm falls 64-69 to the aforementioned Mercury. Also, who played the Sky, the defending champion Chicago Sky, led by Candace Parker's, I mean Emma Messerman's 17.7 rebounds, 2 assists. Candace Parker 11.6 rebounds, 1 assist. Double double from Courtney Vandersloot, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 11 assists. 10 points from Rebecca Gardner, 14 points from Azura Stevens. The Lynx were led by 16 points apiece from Mariah Jefferson, as well as Sylvia Fowles with 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 1 assist. 11 points from Ariel Powers, 18 points from Nokolina Milcic, as the Sky were victorious now 82 8 2-1 on the year, winning 82-78 over the Minnesota Lynx, who dropped to 0-4. The other game last that was played last night was the Sparks. Let's go. The Los Angeles Sparks now 2-2 versus the Connecticut Sun 1-1 after their win, beating the Sparks 60-77, a 17-point drubbing. The Suns were led by Alyssa Thomas, 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists, 16 points, 12 rebounds from Jonquel Jones, 13 points and 6 rebounds from Jajaya Carrington, 10 points for Brianna Jones. The Sparks had 2 points, 12 points apiece from Jordan Canada and Inuka and Gumake. 3 points and 2 rebounds, and 1.1 rebound from Jordan. Liz Cambridge scored 10 points, 4 rebounds, and no assists. Brittany Sykes 6 points, 7 points from Shani Agubake, and Jasmine Walker with 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Tonight's action WNBA, if you want care to catch it, the Dallas Wings will be taking correction. That was the night before. Last night, the Dream beat the Fever 85-79, and the Wings were victorious over the Liberties 81-71. Tonight's games, 5 game slate. The Liberty will be taking on the Connecticut Sun. Atlanta Dream will face off against the Indiana Fever. But Washington Mystics will be traveling to Dallas to take on the Wings. The Phoenix Mercury and Las Vegas Aces do battle in Vegas, and the Minnesota Lynx come to LA to face against the Los Angeles Sparks. Don't say nothing wrong. See, you know what? That's Fed behavior and activity. I tell you. So, of course, that's our show for today. It has been a great thing rocking with y'all high speed today information, giving y'all all the information. Look forward to seeing you again come Wednesday. As y'all know, y'all hear the beloved start when Bishop gives his beloved hump day for Wednesday. Tomorrow, uh, more NBA. I mean, we'll get to talk about the first game of the NBA playoffs. Talk about the who is now owns the number one pick for the NBA draft at the end of the month in June. So basically, we be back here just like any other time, every Monday through Friday, 09 to 1100 hours. We look forward to seeing y'all high speeds. Bishop, any last words before we fall out?
Oh no, man! Y'all have a great Tuesday. Enjoy. Be sure to check out the NBA, like you said, draft lottery as well as game one between the Heat and the Celtics tonight. Definitely gonna talk about that game tomorrow and anything else that's going on in sports. We appreciate y'all. So y'all be sure to stay tuned. Get your friends on here, follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and leave comments. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Man, y'all have a blessed day.
Yes, Sparks, let's get the win tonight. 3-2, baby.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, show attention. Fall out. Y'all know what it is. We look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow.
Roll 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated. Y'all have a great day. Peace.